Good evening and welcome everybody to day 4 of ProBots here in season 1 of 2021. Joining me as always is Endersword, and we have gotten some bots updated, upgraded, and ready to go. 6 of the 8 bots in the bracket remaining have been updated. And there's Endersword now. He's gonna talk with me about all that, and he is so excited. He's dancing.
I'm just bobbing back and forth, bopping around. I'm looking forward to the updates, looking forward to what improvements, innovations, revolutions have been made. And I don't know, should be good. Everything's getting stronger all the time.
Absolutely. There's like I said, 8 bots remaining. We are going back to the upper bracket tonight, and we'll be taking a look at who's going to get knocked down. I'm sorry, there's more than 8 bots remaining. There's 8 bots remaining in the upper bracket, is what I meant to say, right? Yeah, that sounds right. Anyway, 4 of them are getting knocked down into the lower bracket, and we'll take a look at that in just a little bit once we get the bracket up. Before we do all that, make sure you check out all the links in the description below and hit that thumbs up button if you like what you see. Give us a little bit of visibility on YouTube. It does go a long way to support ProBots. And here we go. Here is what we'll be looking at tonight. A lot of Terrans in this upper bracket. Ketroc versus Strelok to kick things off. That's going to be a good one.
You will indeed. We've got a lot of TVT here tonight, and I think they're going to be some of the highest quality TVTs that we've seen so far.
Like innovation versus Maru level of quality, or
like that sort of thing.
Beyond.
Only 1,000 times faster and with some level of incomprehensibility.
That sounds exciting.
Yeah.
It's almost like giving the monkeys the typewriters. You know, eventually they'll type the work. If you give these bots enough time, they will eventually play like Maru.
It is true. It is true.
At least that's the hope. Anyway, we've got Jensiiibot and MicroMachine as well. That is going to be an explosive TVT. Again, I believe all the bots except for Strelok and DominionDog have received updates. So we should be seeing some new builds, maybe some new strategies, maybe just some cleaner play. It's hard to get cleaner than Jensiiibot's micro, though.
Is indeed. It is indeed. That's going to be, to me, the highlight before it even happens. I think that's the one that people are most focused on, looking forward to. They've been both gunning for top spots. Everyone trying to take MicroMachine down off their ladder, and Jensiiibot really, really gunning to do that. So I think that'll be a really, really good one.
Indeed. Spiny versus Tier is going to be I think that's our wild card match.
Yes.
No idea what's going to happen in that one. Spiny can do some crazy things and can really take it into the late game, and Tier is just known for all sorts of shenanigans. So I think that's going to be my favorite. We'll see.
That could either be the favorite, or
it could just be a big flop, and we'll see. Yeah, cannon rushes again.
Yeah.
Or what?
Yeah, just random nonsense.
Yeah.
It's going to be. BenBot and DominionDog. BenBot will be if you gave the million monkeys battle cruisers, and then see what they do. That will be interesting based on our discussions from a couple weeks ago with Fidelina, that the intention was to kind of bypass, not counter the BCs, but try and stop them before they get rolling with some cheese of his own potentially. So that's going to be a really interesting one to see if that works out.
Indeed. You know, they already tried that, giving the monkeys a bunch of battle cruisers. How do you explain the Dominion? Oh, Dominion zing. Got him.
My goodness.
All right. Didn't see that one coming, did you, Mansk? All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to dive into things. Again, make sure you check out everything below. If you're a new bot author, we have an awesome template where you can make your own bot, and check out the AI Arena ladder. That is where all these bots come from.
Yes.
They just merged with the other. I'm not even going to try to remember all the names, but go to aiarena.net is where you're going to find that, and you can check it out, get your bot updated, and hopefully into ProBots in future seasons. We do 3 seasons a year, and hopefully you'll think about coming back. And if you like what you see, make sure you check out our Clown Club as well. You get an ad-free viewing experience. You get cool behind-the-scenes content. You can come watch our bonus content show live. We do post-bots, where we talk about the games and have the bot authors come and join us and discuss stuff. We'll actually be taking a little look at a clip soon of that, so stay tuned.
And if you're in the Crown Club and you go to any Burger King, they're obligated to give you a paper crown.
I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know enough to argue.
That's the way it works. we worked out a deal with them 20 years before we existed.
Excellent.
That's the way that it would work.
Good to know. All right, well, go to Burger King, I guess. Ladies and gentlemen, let's do a Crown Club member shout out because they just deserve it. They're awesome. Let's do it. Savelas, thank you so much for being a Crown Club member. We did see his bot fall last week and tossed in the scrap pile, but I'm sure Antibot will be back next season with a vengeance and give us even more entertaining games. But yeah, thank you so much for your Crown Club support. Thank you, everybody else as well. You can see all the names below us scrolling there. Everybody there is amazing. I believe, are we still pushing for number 25? Is that a thing?
I don't know where we got to.
I don't know where we're at right now.
Somebody must have done it. We have great people.
Within a week. Yeah, if not, well, I know we were pushing for Crown Club member number 25. Oh, we're still pushing for it. All right, well, if you want to be number 25, check out our Patreon. Again, you get cool behind-the-scenes content. You maybe get a free background, some of the artwork we give away every season to our Crown Club members. Eventually, we'll do live in-person events again, and you'll get priority seating and that kind of thing. So yeah, definitely check it out. Helps out a lot.
Yeah.
So it is bot time, Ender Sword. What is our first match coming up again? It is TVT.
Ketroc. We've got Ketroc versus Strelok.
Yep, we do.
Yeah. And here is the ELO of Mr. Ketroc, the excellent Raven bot. It's the bot that just kind of limps along and then at the end is declared king for no reason. ELO at 2100, quite high, really high win rate and a relatively low crash rate. It had some round one issues with detection or figuring out what its opponent's detection was. But that apparently has been fixed, and we're told that maybe there's a new bug that replaced it, but probably but a less serious one. That usually happens. And then this one, Strelok, we've got slightly above a 50% win rate, but still a very strong ELO. The crash rate is very low, but let's see about that.
Now explain this ELO a little bit more to me. I'm still a little fuzzy on the details.
I still haven't checked if they actually use it, but it's like the matchmaker rating, but it's from chess. So chess uses the ELO system. The idea being that when you play an opponent, if you're playing an opponent of about equal skill, if you win, you gain 10 points, they lose 10 points. As your skills are different, you gain less. It's the same as like StarCraft ladder, basically the design is, but the center point is usually like 1,000 or 1,200, somewhere in the middle. So basically anything on the 1,900, 2,100 side is just really, really good. So like the best chess player in the world is like 2,800 something.
Gotcha.
So that sort of thing. And 2,500 would be considered a grandmaster in chess.
All right.
So it's at that level.
Pretty good. All right, our Terrans are ready. Let's hop into game number 1 here on ProBots. Again, this is day 4 of 7. Check out all our previous VODs and all that. And the poll is open as well. You can go vote whichever bot you think is going to win. Type in !vote and then the bot's name and let us know who you think is going to take this. Will it be Ketroc or will it be Strelok? 2 Terran Titans going up at it here on ESChamp's ProBots. Let's get into it right now.
Ketroc. Armageddon's Strelok.
Now, hopefully that's just me that doesn't hear anything.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I do either. Hopefully it's coming through on stream. We often have a different sound setup on our end. Now,
it's always a mystery.
Saying Their average is 1,600, so their midpoint, I guess, is 1,600 for the Elos.
Oh, okay.
Now, that could be because of a number of reasons. One, you can kind of set your midpoint or your starting point wherever you want. So it may be that. It could also be the case that you've got a lot of bots that have joined the ladder and absolutely failed to do anything. And so they're effectively zero. And then others get points on top of that. But for some sort of metric, if you were 2,100 like Ketroc is and your average bot is 1,600, then an elo gap of 500 would mean that you're winning like high 90% of the time against it. And the interesting thing about Strelok at the 1,900 and something, but with only a 56% win rate, it implies that it's very good but very variable. That it will win against, it must win a large number of games against very high rated ones, but it also means it's dropping some games against low rated ones if it has a win rate kind of 50-50.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense now. So both these guys then are above the average.
Yes, well, pretty much everyone in the whole tournament is above the average. Okay. I don't think we have anyone that's below 1,800 in the.
That makes sense because it's off the whole ladder and there's what 50 plus bots there. So
you've got the top, 16.
So makes sense. Well, we're seeing here a little repeat of last season, Ketroc versus MicroMachine, where this build kept the Reaper pinned. Oh, but he gets out just like MicroMachine. He is able to sneak through, and will that be a game changer? Oh, he really wants to go. Nope, don't do it.
It's
oh my God, don't do it.
True. But it doesn't. It wants to go down the ramp because I think it wants to resume the path that it wanted to take, which would be hop down the cliff, then go down that ramp. So now it may not figure out to go all the way around. It wants to take this out.
Yeah. It could be problematic. It is going to at least stay alive and regenerate some health, so that's nice. But a really nice contain here out of Ketroc, and I can see why his bot would have this build still kind of in store, especially with how many Terrans are in this upper bracket. It's a nice little TVT opener, especially against potentially a very aggressive Terran, maybe with Banshees or drops or something come out. This really does just, it kind of bugs with it. It messes with it, as we're seeing here with the Reaper. So it's good. I like it.
Definitely does. There's more grenade damage coming down to that.
Does the grenade do damage to the building?
It does.
I thought it didn't.
They do seem to with the splash of it, I guess.
Huh.
Or something is anyway, but I think it is. Yeah, let's watch. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I thought he was just poking in and throwing.
It's just very slow.
Yeah, okay.
Being done. Yeah, we can keep it. I'm curious how much it is actually.
Yeah, with Ketroc's tank out, he is really locking this down now. Ketroc was in this matchup. Ketroc is the only bot to have updates, and he did. We didn't take a look at it just yet because we're busy here watching it, but he did add some speed mining, just like 4Gate bot.
Nice.
He's using ProBots to test it, so hopefully we can maybe go check that out before this is all said and done, or in the next match or whatever. Here we go. Tanks coming up. They are going to siege in position here. The Reapers are now going to have a hell of a time trying to bust that bunker down. One of them finally goes up north, and he will make his way actually over to Ketroc's side of things. So the tanks almost helping out by pushing those Reapers a little bit more north.
Yeah, freedom by occupying the space that it wanted to be in and shoving it out. It's kind of funny, the structure of these bunkers was such that really all the Reapers could have got out through the middle. They just have chosen not to.
Now this is really funny. He brought the barracks to scout, and he's even got this walled off with the depot so the Reaper can't come up. But he pulled the wall out to scout. So the Reapers are going to have a little bit of fun. They could have gotten up on the right side anyway, so it's not a huge deal. But
it's kind of one of those delayed things. Like, have you ever anticipated a timing from your opponent and they were so bad that it actually came late? So like you thought
like the 5-minute Reaper rush late.
Yeah, kind of like that. Or you think that they're going DTs, and they are. They just did it a minute later, so you sent your observer across the map or something. Because you're like, well, it can't be that. And then you said,
yeah. Look how many Reapers there are.
Yeah, it is a lot. It was kind of, he had one, then two, then all of a sudden, like 4 more jumped down. And they are going to get a lot of work done on the workers here. Ketroc is down to only 12 SCVs, but it becomes hard to see him breaking the position up front. He's also got 3 CCs on the way here, I guess.
Well, he'll be able to mule forever.
Yeah. Okay, the Banshee here is going to help clean this up. And despite so many kills on everything, I think he's going to be able to recover from this. Oh, there's a nice trap on the Reaper, and it doesn't know what to do. But yeah, with all the mules, all the CCs, he's going to be able to replenish this fairly quickly. And unless attack continues, then I think he's going to be fine.
Yeah, that's some nice building placement out of Ketroc. Kind of messes with the Reaper's pathing and all that. But Strelok has done a good job at just staying up in his main base and just gathering Reapers. He's got 3 in production at a time still. Is there a scenario where he can just dive bomb these? There's only 2 tanks, and the bunkers aren't that full.
Yeah, there's minimal bunker coverage. He definitely could just dive on this, but it's obviously not going to do so.
I think he's got to do it soon, because he's about, as Ketroc rebuilds SCVs, eventually he'll start building more Marines and tanks, and that's when you're in trouble as Strelok.
Dance here, like the tanks below are not even sieged right now. They kept doing the siege unsiege. If he had just jumped on that, he definitely could have overwhelmed this with what he's got. But of course, it doesn't know that. Here comes the Banshee in the back, and there's really nothing to deal with this. There's the turret in the mineral line, but these Marines are like super low. Scan will be able to detect, but he gets out of range, although comes back into turret range.
I gotta say, I'm impressed with Strelok's restraint. He's definitely having a little bit of trouble. And the Marine's very soft right now. They're actually going to die almost one shot to this Banshee if he doesn't target it down quickly. Actually, the Banshee's shooting SCVs, so that's lucky for Strelok. But Strelok could have just attacked over and over, and Reapers are just gonna, feed. A few Reapers are just gonna feed this all day. But if he can get enough Reapers up, I'm still a believer. He's still building 3 Reapers at a time here.
Yeah, it's just what's ever going to trigger the attack.
Yeah.
Because it's already got enough to overwhelm that if he wants to. He could jump right on top of the tanks and that's it. But it's not what's going to trigger that from ever happening.
Yeah, and as more and more Banshees come out as well, the anti-air is extremely limited for Strelok. So that alone, I think, will be able to finish things off. But I'm still hopeful. What is going on? Still hopeful Strelok can maybe just bust out. You're out of minerals. What are you going to do with those?
Yeah. This is the old 8 SCV 5 additional barrack build. Champion.
Maybe he can fly all the barracks out, land them to draw the tank fire, and then the Reapers will go.
It'd be good.
It's the ultimate strategy.
You know what I've never seen, but I want to now, is I want to see someone build like 5 barracks, float them towards the enemy, and land them behind them to like force field them in, while the rest of your army comes in the front.
Why not?
I think that would be excellent. Like, can you, like, especially if you did it out of their vision, like you went just beyond like a sight block or something and landed 5 barracks behind them, and then attack them from the front. They retreat and be like, I ran into a barracks wall. They would just uninstall the game.
Probably. I would, for sure.
I'm going to do that.
Try to troll some noobs there. Okay. All right, well, actually, there's a decent little Marine force there. We're going to go for the Banshee. It's the Banshee's trying to poke in the production. We're just kind of waiting for something big to happen here. Oh, he does get the Banshee. Banshee a little bit unfortunate with its pathing. Flies through the turret, so lucky for Strelok. He's going to be able to keep those Banshees at bay for the moment. Another Banshee coming in, though. Again, these bunkers, not very... This position has not been reinforced other than...
So
okay, I think Ketroc's bugged, right? He's building like 18 command centers in his name.
Yeah, can we look over there?
What is happening over there?
What's happened? Like we predicted earlier that 3 CCs, he's going to come back in workers, but I don't know what the hell he's doing. He's making nothing but CCs.
He's about to blossom like a beautiful flower. All the bases will be taken simultaneously. He's going to be able to mule dump every single one of them, and just boom.
This is
or he's going to use his extra SCVs, which there's so many of, to attack.
I think this may break him. This could be like an SAT question for bots: is Strelok is to barracks as Ketroc is to command centers?
Oh my gosh, come on, Reapers, do something. They're just playing in the tank fire like it's a rainstorm. And that is not going to end well for them. A lot of Reapers go down for nothing here. It's only 2 tanks. Just go. One's unsieged. Yeah, with the repairs, those little grenades, they're just so tentative. They want to kill everything with grenades and then run away and live, but it's just not going to work against tanks.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think this will eventually end in a Ketroc win, as he is now starting to saturate some of those bases. Those command centers are blossoming out. And, yeah. What an interesting... No workers for Strelok now. 13 supply. Yeah, I think we can go ahead and call this one pretty much over here.
Yeah, no, definitely. And here come the bright Banshees doing their wiggle in order to light up the night sky. All the workers are dead. Everything is gone.
That's it. Ketroc will take the first game here, and so we do have some. We might as well break the news to everybody now, Undersword.
Yeah. This was as good as it got for Strelok. So, as you can probably see by the end of this, I don't know if they could see the same lag we did, but Strelok unfortunately has a bug in it, and it was lagging out more and more. Apparently that was pre-existing. Just its games last week or 2 weeks ago were short enough that we didn't notice. But as the game went on, the lag got worse and worse and worse. So ended up in game number 2, the Strelok Ketroc match lasted over 10 hours of real time, which usually these AI games are like 3 minutes long in real time. So it lagged out, and unfortunately, it died.
Yeah, so the game was called in Ketroc, or the series was called in Ketroc's favor, as just an unknown little problem. Strelok issuing too many commands or something along the lines where it just took forever and a half, and our real life humans cannot sit there for 10 hours for one game, unfortunately. So yeah. Ketroc will take the series and will remain in the upper bracket. Strelok will go down into that lower bracket, where there's potential, as long as these games don't go super long. Maybe they can crank a few of those out, but we'll have to keep our eyes on that, and we'll let you know kind of how that progresses. But yeah, good job, Ketroc. Nice win there. I like that build. Again, I think that's going to do really well in this upper bracket with how many Terrans. He's going to either be up against MicroMachine or Jensiiibot in the next round. So you got to have something to keep those two beasts at bay.
Yeah, it's a good contain. He's been doing that for a while. It does cause kind of freak out behavior by some of the other bots, as we saw there. And Toast had kind of a good question in chat that was answered a bit. But basically, why do bots kind of dance back and forth, back and forth, back and forth? Like they kind of
That's a good question.
Go into something that seems dangerous, they back up, then they go right back in and back and forth. And I think basically what you're seeing there is the edge of the equation, essentially, which is if I get too close, then I start to feel unsafe, or I'm too close to static defense, or too close to a tank, or whatever. So I'm going to back away from that and retreat from it. But as soon as I start to retreat from it, I want to go attack again. And then as I go attack again, I remember that there's a tank over there. But it doesn't, again, we as people remember things, but these things don't remember. They just evaluate in the exact moment that they're in. And so if the original move was to move forward and the subsequent move was to back up and nothing changes, why would it not do those two things over and over? So that's it. And it will never be like, what's more reasonable? Why don't I stand in the middle? It won't do that. It's actually kind of harder that it would come to that conclusion, I think, than not. So it is interesting behavior that we see. And I've always kind of thought that, and you see it in a lot of the bots, is just they never leave something where it is. It's just always moving it like a little bit and clicking around. And it's because everything is independently recalculating its own behavior all the time. And so it's not going to make the decision. Even like when you see something moving in the same place, it still reconfirms that move if it's not there yet. That's how come you see that sort of like spam clicking. It's just like, I want to go over there. I still want to go over there. I still want to go over there. I still want, until it gets there. So, yeah.
It's a good explanation. Oh, the pro players kind of do that too. You see someone just...
Yeah. You'll see that. I guess for purposes, I guess you do that.
Yeah.
So, Yeah, it's interesting, but I think that's it. Is you think of it, instead of it making a decision every frame, and I guess someone can get more technical, but like every frame, it's reevaluating and reconfirming that decision.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Well, before we hop into our next series here, let's take a look at our post-bot segment. We'll give you a little sneak peek here where we have discussions just like this. And we talk about the bots and kind of what's working behind the scenes a little bit and get our bot authors to join us. And in last week's segment, we had Jensi joining us. So we're going to take a little bit of a look at that before his match. Again, coming up next will be Jensiiibot versus MicroMachine. So get comfortable, get ready, and let's go ahead and run that little sneak peek of post-bots. Again, if you're a Crown Club member, you get access to this for, well, I guess it's free with the $5 subscription. Is that how that works? Something like that. Let's go ahead and run it. Ladies and gentlemen, take a look at post-bots. Yeah, you think Strelok's going to win, though, huh? All right, so yeah, we do have some fun clips here. So this was from 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago? Man, it feels like I'm losing track of time here. It was our first week of ProBots.
First week, yeah.
And you did very well. Spud has been making some progress, but I do believe your bot is outclassed him quite a bit here.
Yeah, the split. So we had discussed this. Your bot kind of does a split, drop, liberator, attack in front sort of thing. And we've seen another bot do the Ling drop. How hard is it to coordinate? Actually, a lot of your bot is based on multi-pronged coordinated attack.
Yeah, those Marine hit squads.
How difficult is that sort of thing? We don't see almost any other bot doing like pincer moves or things that occur simultaneously.
Flanks.
Yeah, I don't think it's difficult, but it's a lot of work to get that done and working. So
does it work more often than not, or what's the success rate of your flanking Marines, do you think? Because they worked really great in this series.
Well, now they're doing pretty well, but the first version wasn't that good, obviously.
Trial and error. It's all part of the game.
Trial and error. When you just start doing it, you'll eventually figure it out.
Yeah. Wow, it was a nice series here, and yeah, I love your army control is just top notch. How the Marines and the tanks work in synergy, and this was both. Your bot is not scared of anything, even though it gets anti-armored missile. It's in tank fire. You're still pushing. You're still pushing it. You're still pushing this back a little bit. Or did you wait? Who got anti-armored missile there? Was it Spud or Jensi?
I think both.
Both of them. Yeah, both.
I think. Yeah. So yeah, I've been trying to work on so the different units work as a team instead of individually that much. So
now that was an interesting one. I don't know what the length of the loop here is, but it almost looked like you had an independent team of Marines come, but then Marines from the other team joined that team. Does that ever happen, or is that just kind of coincidental? Like it looked like one group came
regrouped essentially.
Yeah, that's almost
yeah. I have those small Marine squads that try to flank, and if they come in contact with the opponent army, they will retreat, and if they'll get in the path of my own forces, then they'll just rejoin that main army and keep on fighting. That's there.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. It literally looked like they kind of melted into each other.
Yeah.
We'll get that again shortly, but okay, we won't.
Nope, that's it. That's all you get to see. Getting $50,000.
Yeah.
Oh, we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Thank you. Hopefully you enjoyed our little post-bots segment. Very cool stuff. Again, if you are a Crown Club member, you can get access to that. You can come watch it live and ask questions in the Discord for our bot authors, things like that. So definitely check it out. And I believe we're just about ready. I don't know. I've got no timer for our next series. Let's talk about our next series until it's ready. It's going to be a good one. Jensiiibot versus MicroMachine. What are your thoughts?
I think that this will be a game that Maru and Innovation and them study till the end of time. I think that this will set the bar for what all human players need to aspire to, not just in StarCraft, but just life in general and civilization going forward for decades.
Wow. This is like that Bill and Ted, how they change the world with their music. This is
game will be spelled out in micro marine movements, will be the vaccine to the next 6 pandemics that we have.
I'm ready. Oh my god!
Take note of this, and I think it's going to be that important. And then one of 2 Terrans will win. I think the result of this game, the dev team will have to reassemble and put back a tank drop medevacs.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah,
I missed those. Get your votes in when it's ready. I don't know if it's ready yet, but yeah, it is ready. Type in ! Vote either MicroMachine or Jensiiibot. Now this is gonna be a crazy one here. Taking a look, this is not the right.
People.
This is wrong. We're gonna take a look at the right one though. MicroMachine is like number 1 on the ladder. He's got the biggest ELO, right? I would imagine.
I believe so. I mean, if we get the right graphic up, we'll verify it in a moment.
Verify. But Jensiiibot nipping at the heels. I believe Jensiiibot was number, what was it, 5 on the ladder, or 5 or 7, something like that.
It's all over the place. Maybe.
All right. Well, we're gonna see Jensi first here. Jensi with a nice elo of 1987.
Yes. Birth year of Sidney Crosby.
Who?
It's a hockey player.
Oh, hockey player. Yeah.
It's
I'm sure all the Canadians in the chat got that.
Good one. Yeah.
Good win rate. Yeah. One of the highest win rates.
Yeah. Jensiiibot has experimented and changed a lot, whereas MicroMachine, here we have
there it is,
2200 elo, 92% win rate, and a low crash percentage. This is the Magnus Carlsen of ProBots, of all AI goodness.
Yeah, that is some phenomenal stats right there.
It's the stockfish of whatever, because it's
well, well, it's cool to see those, because we've always known MicroMachine's been one of the top dogs for season after season for years now. So it's kind of cool to see some numbers behind that and the win percentage and all that. So
I've always been confused by, I don't know if we could see the picture briefly. I've always been confused by this little, and I think it's a thing from Hearthstone or something, but that little robot, I've always thought of it in the way that the side of the head is actually its nose, and I thought it looked like the droid bots from like Star Wars. But
it does look a little bit. Well, we'll see it when we hop in game.
Go in here, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But I think those are actually the side of his head and the glowing part in this thing. So is the glowing part in the middle his like
face
and eyes? And
that's his face, yeah.
He's got his head turned. Whereas I was viewing it as if the bolt in the front there was his nose, and that's the front of his face, and that's one eye that would be there on either side.
Well, yeah, but then with the blue antenna, though, it's like, does he have one wonky?
Well, I figured that's because he parted his hair to one side.
Oh my god. All right, it is time, ladies and gentlemen, for this TVT Jensiiibot versus MicroMachine. Get your votes in now, and let's hop into it here on ProBots.
Like it looks like those guys.
Jensiiibot. Raph RR and Unusuals. MicroMachine.
Not a lot of votes in yet. Get your votes in, huh?
This is the high-profile one. They don't want to look like a fool.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I think it's a safe bet voting for either of these bots.
Wow.
They're taking wins off each other left and right, I guess, on the ladder. So
doesn't make neither of them a safe bet. That's the way.
All depends how you look at it, I guess.
If you're flipping a coin, heads and tails are both safe bets.
They're also unsafe bets, yeah.
That's true. So we got the Jensi out to scout and taking a peek around. It looks like it's already planned its return trip.
He wants to get home safe. He's
Yes,
got a wife or something at home he wants to get home to.
Definitely. He'll take a peek, make sure there's no shenanigans.
Ooh, look at that. That is a nice little scout pattern.
Yes, that's a rhombus if I've ever seen one.
He will get in. The Spiny book closes. Oh, but there's a gap, and he will get a full scout. Not a lot to see at this moment, though. Yeah, no cheeses, no proxies coming. It's pretty standard opening here out of both these guys, and ooh, a pretty early factor out of both of them. Very mirrored matchup right now. We don't see that often on ProBots, where both bots are in sync with each other. Yeah, Reaper's popping out almost at the same time. This is looking like if you were to turn off the names, you wouldn't know if these were Korean pros or bots. I'm telling you.
That is true. That is absolutely true. He did trap him. He didn't get to come home to his wife and kids.
We should use this for our is it a bot or is it a pro?
This would be a good one. That would be a good one. I still want to do that, like send one to Harston for his show where he guesses. I don't know if he still does that, where he guesses what level people are. He's shown like a replay, but with no context or names, and then he has,
like right here.
Yeah, what league there?
That would be perfect. Yeah, the Reaper going behind the mineral line. What do you think?
Yeah, and kind of like spam control, and then he threw the grenade on the low ground to like jump it down there. Like it was cool.
And we'll just totally blow Harsum's mind. We'll submit it as if it's a human, and then be like, "It's a bot."
Yeah,
we could do our own segment where we record his reaction of that. Think about it. All right. Anyway, Hellion gets a nice kill there. Who knew there'd be so much blood with a flame kill? Mule doing something, dies on the bottom of the ramp there. But here we go. A command center will attempt to go down for MicroMachine, but that will get delayed potentially. The Cyclone should push this all back, though, right?
It definitely is capable of holding here, but I like what he's done so far by killing that SCV. He's definitely delayed this command center. If he gets a full cancel on this, then that's great as well. And it looks like he's going to with one more volley. Yeah. And so this is already definitely done enough value. The Cyclone could definitely push this back, but it's being tentative, obviously.
Now, yeah, a lot of updates. I'm looking at the list here. We've never seen something like this really out of Jensiiibot. We always see tanks, and we always see Marines with those. And I don't think I've ever seen a Hellion Reaper attack out of Jensiiibot.
We haven't seen really, and this is one thing that we talked to him about on PostBots, and I've been saying for 2 or 3 seasons that one of Jensiibot's really only major weakness was the lack of aggression in the early game. And a lot of bots would take advantage of that and just macro up behind it. And this new type of opening with such good control is already clearly paying off. He's just not letting his opponent get started. And the economic damage that this has done already, even if he now loses all this, is well worth it.
Yeah, Banshee will secure the situation here. So a nice attack, though, out of Jensiiibot. Really does slow down that expansion. As you can see, Jensiiibot has already got some mining going down, and things are looking super good on that. But again, MicroMachine's up in supply. You know, he's got a lot going down for him. He's going to have those cloak Banshees very soon. That is going to be huge. MicroMachine's cloak Banshees are deadly undersword.
They definitely are. That's usually the thing that ends up breaking his opponent's back and just kind of distracting him so much that it never really fully recovers from it or gets anything going. Here comes the whole army with a mule sent to die in the woods. And
he's scouting or something.
He's doing that sort of like that's actually a good example of like it's hard to make it just stop moving. Is the mule could easily just be told just stop mining, but they always send it out somewhere.
He has to go on his exodus before he dies here. Nice Raven, I gotta say there. Really nice out of Jensiiibot. He sends just the Cyclone and the Raven after the Banshee and keeps his army there to keep MicroMachine's push away at bay. This, I'm seriously watching top level TVT here. Like this really is almost indistinguishable from pro play.
Yeah, it does look very human-like in terms of the control here.
And just the decision-making, too. MicroMachine not overcommitting, realizing I can't push in there and break that. And then Jensiibot's just ability to deal with multiple fronts at the same time has always been good. And it was exceptionally highlighted right there. So here we go. MicroMachine going for another dual attack. He's going to try to poke at the front and backstab with the Banshee. No turrets here, so this Banshee... Oh, nope, the Raven's here to deal with it. Nope. There's the Cyclone. Okay.
Yeah. Does not lock there. Getting the attack on.
Oh, he gets the Banshee. That's pretty big here. And the Marines will run in and take some shots. All the Marines from MicroMachine are dead. So these tanks might want to go home. He might be able to get some kills of his own here.
We'll be able to take out the Vikings, which is going to let him regain air control. And then these ones will have to back up. Yeah, just the information that they have, or the awareness that it has to know that it's lost the Marines, lost the Vikings, and therefore the tanks have to retreat is such an advancement over even just a few seasons ago.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Jensiibot getting a third base already. This is incredible. This might go into a late game scenario. I think it'll be crazy to see if both these bots can just take their respective sides of the map.
Yeah,
and just nonstop.
That way. I mean, it definitely shaping up that way, and like such different behavior we're seeing at a MicroMachine. I don't know if we've ever seen MicroMachine economically down. Like
not often.
Yeah, like other than if it's gotten full contained, like in the Ketroc situation with bunkering it in, it's never just had bases legitimately delayed and been playing from behind economically. It's starting to try and even that out here now, but that's usually what we get is mass aggression at a MicroMachine followed by taking 5-6 bases behind it, and even if someone does withhold or hold it off, then they're just behind the entire way.
Now, can you attribute some of that slowness to that very early Reaper heli input that slowed down the command center, or?
I think it's completely that, yeah, which is that command center would have been completely done by the time he even got to start it again. Because he tried to put it down just as that was coming in. It got stopped with probably only 5% of its health done yet. So it does catch the Cyclones here out. The Marines dancing around the tanks until they siege up.
Yeah. And Jensiibot will keep his Marines there. They're very wounded. No medevacs here to heal. That's something to note. You know, 1 or 2 more tank volleys, and they're just going to be gone. And then all of a sudden, Jensiibot won't have any support for his tanks, and maybe the Cyclones can get in there. Ooh, Vikings taking a lot of hits. From Cyclones, from MicroMachine's Vikings. So Jensi needs to be kind of careful here. Banshee's going to cloak, but that's not going to work out.
Yeah, gets in a little too close there. These Vikings being controlled very well, sniping off their opponent, whereas MicroMachines isn't really getting any fire off, actually.
Look at the Cyclone dance. Do the Cyclone. They're just waiting for their moment. They're waiting to lock onto something from the high ground and pick it off. Maybe a Raven, maybe a tank. We'll see. MicroMachine has a nice tank line here, though, so it still will be very hard for Jensiibot to push through. But obviously that air superiority is going to help out a lot. As long as he keeps his Vikings alive. Ooh, MicroMachine does pull back to repair just in time. Oh, no, it doesn't that time, though. All right, we're just going to have a bit of a stalemate here almost. How does either one of these bots break through the other in this scenario?
I think it's really playing the edges of the tank control here to use the air superiority and vision to try and advance, which he's right on the very edge of here. One of the tanks gets taken out, but as Vikings come back in, he can shoot back. It's going to be this very slow push.
Ooh, MicroMachine with some perfect positioning there is able to pretty much always going to get one of the... There's only 1 or so tanks remaining for Jensiibot, so this push has been pretty much thwarted here, I think. MicroMachine holding a nice position while at the same time getting that 4th base up to the middle right is going to be phenomenal here. Jensiibot still with a big supply advantage. Will need to start getting some more expansion soon. I would have to imagine Jensiibot's starting to run out of money back home.
Yeah, he does have another speed floating down, to the 4th here as the tanks retreat back. There is a temporary advantage in upgrades for the vehicle versus bio on Jensi versus MicroMachine. but that is probably going to even out and eventually swing very much in Jensi's favor as he's making multiple upgrades at the same time.
Poor guy's trapped.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Oh, well, not all SCVs can be the brightest. He built himself in there. It's his own darn fault. Nice upgrades here for MicroMachine. I will say that is one of Jensiibot's biggest obstacles, or might be one of his biggest obstacles to overcome at this point. He's got like no upgrades, and MicroMachine's about to have 2-2 finished up. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm mixing it up. Jensiibot is about to have 2-2 finished up. MicroMachine is the one lacking on upgrades. Apologies. Ooh, but he still has a nice Viking spread here. It's hard to tell when they're Cheetoed whose is whose. But those are MicroMachine's Vikings. And there's a lot of them here. So it looks like MicroMachine should be able to wrestle back air control, which will hopefully give his tanks control of the ground. He does pick off one tank here. And Jensiibot's starting to flounder a little bit. Can't really find an opening to get in. How's he? He's got to go home, right?
I think he does have to give up this position. He's kind of pseudo-surrounded here at the moment.
They're getting slaughtered.
It looks like, MicroMachine gets a little too far forward and gives up the air control a bit there. We
haven't seen any Marine hit squads really from Jensiibot yet, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of kind of uncharacteristically missing things. So it's obviously changed its style a bit, as has MicroMachine, but we're not seeing Liberators either as part of the main army. And usually with these tank Marine pushes, we're also getting a Liberator or two coordinating the sieges to help leapfrog. And we're not seeing that because a lot is focused on the Viking fight still. Here, the Cyclones getting bold will be able to knock out a tank and potentially these Vikings as well.
Man, this is...
one go.
I'm reading through these updates here for Jensiibot. It's just very extensive. He had updates for all races here. Ooh, there's a little hit squad going to come in, and he might get the command center. Does target it down. Nice little step forward there as well. Going to just keep moving forward. Actually, it's going to move MicroMachine out of position a little bit here. And Jensiibot is going to control the high ground. We'll be able to break through a little bit. Kills that tank in the front. Jensi is trying so hard to get through this here. He really wants to break MicroMachine.
These low ground tanks here, taking out a few on Jensiibot's side. He's pushing up forward again, and I think this one is too aggressive. I think he's going to lose a lot for this. Yeah, there come the interference matrix we also have been kind of missing, and the Marines jump on that, and I think that was the bold move that will get him kicked out of the middle here. And there's the Liberator.
Ooh, yeah, this is definitely going in Jensiibot's favor now. That Liberator's a game changer.
Yeah, that one does get taken out, but he's kind of broke the middle. This is almost like the second middle, but here comes the hit squad.
Nice.
Again. This is what we've been looking for. No cancel on that. It does finish and will just die there.
Hey, that's the Jensiibot we know. He is starting to pick apart MicroMachine here. And I'm thinking he's going to take the game, almost double the supply. So much more army supply as well. Triple the army supply, essentially. And yeah, MicroMachine is just kind of fallen apart and wasn't able to keep up with just the nonstop pressure, the tank positioning. So good out of both these bots, but in the end, Jensiibot will be able to outmaneuver his opponent, and it looks like Jensi will take game number 1 here. Very impressive.
Few things were on the verge here for MicroMachine. It was obviously trying to go towards the battlecruiser late game that we usually see as well. You can see the fusion core there at the natural, but we didn't get any of those out. There's a few times where MicroMachine did take air control in a fairly strong way, but in each case it kind of choked it back up. And I think it needed to maintain that in order to make that transition. Because it wasn't winning the tank Marine battles.
Yeah.
But you very much saw here in this game a MicroMachine get forced into positions that it's never really been in, which is to play from behind in the natural, to kind of get a third base later than its opponent, to be forced out of Banshees, and just on the defensive. I don't know that we've really seen, other than a complete contain, MicroMachine play the game on its side of the map.
Yeah, not many bots can keep up with MicroMachine and put on that aggression and really go toe-to-toe, essentially, where they're just clashing heads. And yeah, like you said, we've only ever really seen it work when there's like a bunker contained, something cheesy a little bit. Something to exploit him a little bit.
Yeah, there's essentially two ways historically that we've seen MicroMachine beaten. Completely knock its knees out right from the very beginning, or survive to the late game and overwhelm it with a different type of tech, like a high tech thing. We've never seen it be like, you're making Marine, tank, Banshee, whatever, I'll make Marine, tank, Banshee, Viking. Like, we've never seen it, someone fight it even footing and win.
Well, that was one of the upgrades, was some Viking and Raven behavior, which we saw again. The Ravens were always in the right spot to deal with those Banshees. And Vikings doing a pretty good job at keeping, through most of the game. It went back and forth a little bit, the air control, but generally more aggressive. And we saw Jensiiibot had his dukes up and he was fighting, and he beat down MicroMachine a little bit there.
Yeah, definitely. It's you could see things flipping a little bit if there were a few early game changes. So obviously, canceling that command center on the low ground in the natural really early on, huge. Had a couple extra things died there. Like, there was a couple of those Hellions that were in red for a while before. And even if that's off by a few seconds, they weren't really putting a lot of fire onto the command center. They kind of barely got it to cancel. If that had been building, say, 5 more seconds, it's possible that just kind of stays alive until MicroMachine can get back down and build it, which would make a 100 mineral difference, but also just a time difference on everything.
Every little thing adds up.
Yeah, every little thing, every little spot on the map, the way that ramps are, the way that chokes are, whatever, kind of having 2 centralized points that were like down a ramp on this map to kind of divide the 3rd and the 4th and the natural and the 3rd. Is a big feature of that map, and that's different on others. So I think this could still go either way here. But
absolutely.
Very, very impressive on both sides of this.
I do believe the poll is closed. Can we look at it real quick as we get ready to hop into game number 2 here? It's closed, but I'm curious to see how the people voted here. 5-4 in favor of MicroMachine. Very even. And as we saw, just a very even matchup here. Let's go ahead and dive into game number 2, this TBT here on ESChamp.
Jensiiibot. Wrath RR and Unusuals. MicroMachine.
Yeah, so okay. Hopefully the lag will settle there if anybody saw that.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
All right, Ascension to Ire. Again, this season we do have some new maps. So we haven't really seen a lot of games on this one yet.
Yeah, and I think this one will be, interesting for 2 reasons. One, the kind of shape of the maps that we were talking about between games there, but also MicroMachine at the onset of this announced that it was doing an early expand. So if it's able to get established a little earlier on, then that can make a difference in how this goes. But we'll see what they do, and if Jensiiibot does the same thing at all as well. So this is kind of the assumption that it's going to make the Reaper Hellion push again, but we had never seen that really before. So I don't know that we're going to see it again either.
Yeah, no, again, a lot of updates for Jensiiibot, and still a good little handful as well for MicroMachine. MicroMachine mostly doing little micro fixes, making sure Marines are produced when they're not making Reapers, which introduced a new bug and things like that. I love that. I fixed this bug, but then I found this bug updates.
It could be like that. Yeah,
that's how it goes. But
exactly.
now both bots working well, so.
Scouting pattern here again. He'll get out.
It goes back in for round 2.
Yeah, it's I think literally the exact same shape. It went down and checked before.
Gone home.
And before didn't see the natural. This time, of course, it sees that that's already well underway, but will die in the effort of doing so. And the Reaper coming across. So, of course, scouting different information, I'm sure, is going to prompt different behavior on Jensii's side. And we'll obviously have that CC done before anything aggressive comes, but it is going to be a Hellion and another Reaper on Jensii's side there as well.
There we go. Reaper battle is going to go in Jensiibot's favor here. MicroMachine will have to tuck tail and go home. And he will do just that. So, yeah, I really like this out of MicroMachine, having that earlier base, just because even if Jensiibot were to attack really early, which, you know, he's just now sending a couple units across, MicroMachine should be able to have plenty of defense back at home. He's got, you know, Reapers of his own. He's got Marines even popping out here. So as long as his control's good and he fights maybe at the top of a ramp or... Ooh, but that's not good, losing a Reaper at this stage. You got to keep all of that alive for this big fight coming up here.
Yeah, definitely. Even if the Reapers only serve as kind of taking hits for a Cyclone. And dying there.
Oh, he's going to lose a Marine here too. Actually, yeah, I take back everything I said. This might just end in a sad day for MicroMachine here.
Yeah,
a lot of workers about to die.
Definitely on the back foot here, but he is getting a tank out this time instead of a Cyclone. And if the tank can get in a good position, then while he will lose workers and unfortunately 2 mules that were both over halfway on energy here, it's recoverable.
Yeah, any lead he had is pretty much gone. Jensiibot already has more workers and a second base up and running now too, and is camping MicroMachine's natural. That tank is out, but it's just sieged up in the main base, so it will only be able to keep the main safe. Yeah, I'd love to see the tank just unsiege and pull with some SCVs to go fight it and just repair and fight it. Even with two tanks, he could really do it. Cyclone will be popping out next, though. Cloak is on the way. Banshee will be the saving grace yet again. But, at least the base is up this time, but MicroMachine's still been put on the back foot, just like last game.
Yeah, for sure he has, but Jensiiibot, I think, here maybe prematurely going all the way back, although here's the reason why then. Is trying to fill that medevac and drop back in.
Love how the Reaper sees it and is just like, I can't deal with this. We're not ready.
Yeah, we're going to get a coordinated attack here of the Liberator and drop at the same time. But with the tank in the middle of this base, if it's still there, I don't know if it is.
This is beautiful.
Cyclone in good position, but kind of gets the wrong target. If this had been on the Liberator instead, that would have been better. The medevac does fall, but the Liberator there doing a lot of work. The Hellions in the back get these clumped up SCVs, but there the tank is helping out.
Oh, the humanity. Those poor SCVs trying to stay out of the Liberator zone, but have to play in the fire to do so. Finally gets cleaned up here, but oh my god.
No acknowledgement that there's still a Hellion there. There we go.
How many workers has he killed? At least 15 or 20 at this point. 19.
Yeah.
That was a good guess on my part.
that is definitely a lot there. Death between two bases, and that confused him a fair bit. Liberator in the right place at the right time. I think just the wrong target. It would have been better to do the Liberator instead of the medevac, unless you could have still got the medevac full or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, MicroMachine still not dead or anything. It's 27 workers, certainly recoverable. It'll come down a bit to how well some of these attacks do. This part obviously won't.
Yeah, this isn't going to do anything. Cancel go home. Unsiege.
Oh, I like that. 8 ally supply versus 13 enemy supply. I think it's undercounting.
Is he going to get the tank?
Based on what it saw at the time. We'll back on out of here, but here is a Banshee in the back. There is detection, but a Cyclone has to get in position. Banshee not appreciating the lock-on. Will be taken out again.
Nice. Jensiii is in Python. To answer a question in the chat there, Jensiii is in Python. MicroMachine is C++. Yeah. It's Python, Java, or C++. Oh, and tier is C#. So Oh, and Strelok is Rust. Yeah, we got all sorts of languages
Rust.
this season.
Yeah.
But traditionally, Python has always kind of been the average, the go-to, the main one everybody uses. So
I've always trusted BASIC.
learn to program BASIC.
Yeah.
Did you ever have that?
I did. Well, I used to be able to program in BASIC when I was like 6.
It was some old game from the 90s where you could make like little video games and stuff. It was pretty cool.
I used to do that. Yeah, when I had like a Commodore 64.
Oh yeah, we've talked about this. Yeah. Well, here we go. MicroMachine's going to come back in for another attack. Cyclone way ahead of the game is just going to get pushed away. Here we go. Tank sieging up at the bottom of the ramp. Will not have vision.
Yeah, if it had vision there, then Jensiiibot would have taken a hit or two, but it didn't. So.
Oh wait, did the tank? I thought the tank couldn't unsieged if it was matrixed.
Apparently.
Am I wrong?
Was it already unsieging? Maybe.
Well, but it should stop it. Oh no, I guess if it was unsieging
I didn't
already.
Yeah, I'd have to look at that again because I thought the same, but it may have been already doing it.
Yeah, we'll take a look maybe at a replay. I'm very curious there because it was definitely moving while it was matrixed, and I thought it was sieged up.
Straight hacks.
Yeah, here we go. Here's that update coming into play once more. The Vikings and Ravens in conjunction will be able to shut this Banshee down easy. Even the Cyclone getting a little bit of fun here. Is that MicroMachine recognizing a range upgrade, but it's not going to do a whole bunch for him. That was the only Banshee, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Now, both of them, again, MicroMachine is down in economy, but it is not like crazy down. 15 workers is a lot, but in these types of games, it's not so huge that it's insurmountable. The army supply is very similar. Unfortunately, lagging behind in upgrades again, and Jensi is still continuing at that, whereas MicroMachine can't.
Well, no, I had it backwards last time. Remember, MicroMachine was the one with good upgrades. Jensi wasn't.
I think MicroMachine had the first one, but then fell behind at the end. Eventually, Jensiiibot was.
Oh, am I mixing it up again?
I think so.
I'm the worst. I'm horrible at this. Yeah, either way, you're right, though. Yeah, Jensiibot's going to have a nice upgrade advantage. 2-2 is now on the way. Combat Shield coming down. Attack for the tanks on the way as well. And MicroMachine is starting to fall behind a little bit here. It's really just in the worker supplies where that difference is, which I guess can be made up with mules. 3 base for 3 base. If you've got mules, it's not that big of a difference. So,
yeah,
as long as he can hold, as long as MicroMachine can keep Jensiiibot at bay, maybe start expanding a little bit more. I always love it when MicroMachine just starts to take every single base. So,
yeah, and I think you hit the nail on the head right there, which is as long as he can keep them at bay. We said towards the end of that first game that the problem was MicroMachine fighting on his own side of the map. Right now, despite the fact that he is ostensibly losing, he's not actually actively losing. He's just behind. Whereas now Jensiiibot is starting to move across. He's got to be able to push this back and prevent it from getting traction. If he starts to be entirely defensive before it's able to transition into battle cruisers yet again, then I don't think it's. I think we're going to go the same way.
Yeah, Motto is being researched. We're on the razor's edge here of getting some insanely good tech for MicroMachine to maybe hold this off, but he is going to lose his 3rd base. Gets gunned down so fast, and the tanks. Jensi's just going to pick it off, supply block MicroMachine momentarily, and go home. Nice attack here. And now MicroMachine again. He takes blow after blow. Yeah. And Jensiibot's just not. He hasn't really been taking damage. He's been shutting down the Banshees, the harass. There's just been nothing to slow down Jensiiibot. He's looking unstoppable, Undersword.
Is that a little hit squad on the far left, just below the 4th base? Is that all that is?
For Jensi? No, it's a Marine.
Just a Marine. Okay.
Hit squad, quote unquote. It's Hitman.
Single man. That's a commando. It's like the Command and Conquer commando. He's pushing back again. Again, straight down the middle, but it looks like it's going to try and take a turn here to go towards the 4th base, which is the right way to go. If this can get up on top of the ramp, then I think we're probably good, but they're facing the whole army. The Vikings getting some good shots as they come in at a strong angle. The tanks here on the high ground are looking pretty good here as well.
Yeah, this position is great out of MicroMachine as long as he can keep that air control. Those Vikings are so important right now to be able to keep this tank line intact. And yeah, Jensiiibot taking a weird engagement. He's been so good with his decision making up until this point, fighting in this weird kind of low ground pit area almost, where yeah, the tanks just have a great spot to rain hell upon them, and the Vikings have been thinned out. Actually, has MicroMachine lost all but one of his Vikings?
He just ran them directly over the whole Marine dock here at the bottom.
Oh no!
He's got Jensi in kind of like a 180-degree surround.
Yeah,
there's a lot of ways out of this, but he's taking a lot of damage on the way out.
Yeah, it's like he was trying to push through that wall or something. It's like, yeah, just choose a direction and go it.
Yeah, kind of weird here. Despite that all looking like it was good for MicroMachine, because he flew all the Vikings over the Marines, he actually probably ended up about 30 supply down in that engagement. Now losing the tank to the genuine hit squad this time, but this time the hit squad is completely caught.
Yeah, Jensiiibot will get pushed back. So yeah, MicroMachine is keeping him at bay. Slowly but surely, Jensiiibot is just climbing ahead. MicroMachine has established an even economy finally, which is nice to see. He's even up a few workers. But again, the upgrade differential is just so big. 2-2 for the bio, and then +2 attack for his mech. MicroMachine just has one upgrade finished. He's about to have 1-1 for his mech finished here, essentially.
Yeah, the +1 on mech will help a lot because once you've got the +3 on the Marines, it will just shred everything. So he's got to mitigate that at least a little bit. He's still got no battle cruisers actually out there as he's constantly replacing the Vikings. And I'm sure it has some sort of metric for air safety before it will transition.
Hopefully soon, though. He's had Yamato done for ages. I'd love to see some battle cruisers. That'll really help. Jensiiibot coming into that same weird position here, and will finally... Now it looks like he's just going to pull back home here. So again, MicroMachine able to buy time, able to get more bases established here.
This is a lot of dead medevacs here. There was a couple dead Vikings. These 3 getting brave, turning back around. But that was like 5 medevacs being taken out for nothing there as well. And supply has evened up quite a bit. Both of them have been right at 75 workers for quite a while. That's clearly the kind of a target number for them. Here comes another hit force directly into
nope.
directly into what they didn't want to see. So good job by MicroMachine being right place, right time twice in a row there.
Yeah, finally. MicroMachine is getting his dukes. He's warmed up. He's really fending these attacks off very well.
Here comes So 1 BC could
Oh, is it finally?
Yeah, so there's finally one on the way. 2 of them actually now on the way. This could end up twisting it. The Marines here are getting very brave on their own.
Oh, wow. They're just going to dive on the tanks. What is going on? They clean out more than half. It's those upgrades. 3-3 is done for Jensiiibot, and he is able to clean out a good 80% of that tank line. That was incredible.
Yeah, they jumped on them just as they had all on siege, and they had to siege up under that. Now there's not much support, though, for the rest of this army here, and the Vikings are going to take out everything in the air. They're just going to sit over these Marines, which this time is the right decision, to just take everything out at the expense of the few Vikings that you're going to lose. And then here comes the BCs now going after the tanks, and this is swung completely in the opposite direction here.
Wow, what a brawl. Yeah, Jensiiibot taking a good first few hits there, or taking a really nice start to that engagement. But MicroMachine holds. He's got the battle cruisers out, 2 in production at a time as well. So those are going to be so useful. These Marines, even with 3-3, they just kind of tickle the battle cruisers. Yeah, 3-3 obviously against no upgraded battle cruisers is better, but you get enough battle cruisers, I don't care how many 3-3 Marines you got, you're not going to kill them.
Yeah, it's got a lot of mitigation. The one thing he's focused on was the ship weapons as well, so it's going to do some damage there. If the battle cruisers start to get in a position too where they're kind of backstabbing Jensi and able to just kind of spiral and teleport away when they need to, then I think we're going to see this swing so even in both economy and supply here. And now MicroMachine is certainly on the offensive.
This is incredible. This might be one of our best TVTs to date. MicroMachine has turned things around drastically and is finally putting some pressure, some good pressure, onto Jensiiibot. The tanks are in range. They're going to start getting some juicy shots on the Marines. The battlecruiser will reign supreme for now. If Jensiiibot can maybe get out enough Vikings, he can take these out. He actually is going to maybe get that one battlecruiser. It doesn't teleport, I don't think. Yeah, I think it just went down.
Did that one die? The first one teleported away.
Oh, no, it did teleport away. Holy crap.
The first one did it the last second. Now, that hit squad we saw for a second was able to take out this northern base, but there's another base coming to volunteer as tribute right after. But it may be too late for this, as the base of Jensiiibot is going down here as well.
Oh, they get a kill. Those low Marines, actually. Jensiiibot with a beautiful backstab will slow down MicroMachine a little bit, but I don't think it was enough. MicroMachine has the entire left side of the map, is maxed out, has an incredibly big army supply, so many tanks with the battle cruisers overhead. I think MicroMachine is going to bring us into an ace match, which is exactly what I was hoping for between these two.
It certainly does look like it here. We're going to get our money's worth on this series. He's going for the Liberator upgrade here. The planetary just being surgically taken down.
Oh my god, look at those lock-ons, the battle cruisers.
It looks like one of the Gulliver's Travels, where the Lilliputians
they tie him up
to the
Yeah. That's actually a good movie. I like that. But here we go. Yeah, nice Yamato. Oh, battlecruiser gets interference matrixed and is not able to jump away. The Vikings will kill it for Jensiiibot. So Jensiiibot is just barely holding on by the skin of his teeth here, and it just does not look like it will be enough because your teeth don't actually have skin. Isn't that a weird saying?
It's a very weird saying. I think that's, I don't know who said it first. I bet they got a funny look.
Probably.
Something like that. Here, Birmingham. And this is kind of the MicroMachine reality, is once it's broken you, it just very efficiently takes everything out. But Jensiiibot was holding on. I mean, not only holding on, I mean, he was winning for a big portion of this. And it wasn't until it really was what looked initially like a good move, which was running all those Marines to take out a bunch of tanks. But that left the remaining tanks and Vikings so vulnerable that it got counter-pushed right at the exact time that battlecruisers started to come out. And then it just swept from there.
All right, well, MicroMachine will take this and will bring us to the ace match. Nicely done here. And yeah, once he's able to get to those battlecruisers, that's kind of the tipping point. I think that really did help him out, because that was right when Jensiiibot did that big attack in and started that fight off so strong. Battlecruisers were there at the end. They were able to clean it up, and from there, MicroMachine just steamrolled through. And
it's the ability to stand in a place. There's so much of any StarCraft stuff. It is very back and forth, and you have to retreat and be very tentative. And if you take a shot, you have to back out and whatever. A battlecruiser is tanky enough that it can be your front man. It can just kind of stand in a place, force something to move, and when it takes enough fire, it just teleports away and doesn't die. And it's almost like, if you imagine, we saw last week Thors fill the same role, but they do just die. There's no teleporting Thor.
Yeah.
But if the Thor could gate away, then it would be the same thing. But the ability for the battlecruiser to just be that wedge driver and the siege breaker essentially, but still live, is just so the key to everything.
I think they should add back in, while we get game 3 loaded up here. They should add, the mechanic where the Thor, when it dies, it's a scrap pile, and then you can repair it, and then it comes back. They should add that into it, because if you're at the point where you can keep that pile of wreck protected, you deserve to get that back alive. I think. But if you get crushed and pushed back, it's not hard to gun it down. It's a weak pile of scrap. You can just kill it real fast. But I think they should add that back into multiplayer. I think that would be cool.
Definitely.
I don't think it'd be too game breaking, because it's no worse than teleporting your battlecruiser away instantly when it's about to die.
It's worse.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, it's easier to take care of in a sense because it's right there.
Yeah, it's just a big pile. It doesn't actually do anything. It just sits there until it's repaired. So I think that would be better. Anyway, game number 3 is getting loaded up here, ladies and gentlemen. Between these two absolute Terran monsters here, again, I'm getting flashes of Maru and innovation. Like, this is some high level. This is our highest level TVT, I think, today.
Yeah, I think we all knew it was going to come to this, and I would have been disappointed if there wasn't an ace match, and they're so close. What is Jensi going to deviate to? So we saw MicroMachine change. What will Jensi change to?
Well, let's find out in game number 3 here. MicroMachine versus Jensiiibot here on ProBots.
Jensiiibot. Wrap RR and unusuals. MicroMachine.
Terratron, yeah, that'd be a good name for. I'm surprised nobody's used that for a Terran bot yet. Did you ever play the Lost Viking arcade game?
Yeah. I did. Is that where that's for? I never got.
Yeah, he's the boss in that. Yeah,
that was the one achievement I looked at in the campaign. And I don't want to do that. So
I've gotten 2 of the 3 because you get up to like a gold medal or something with it. It's hard. You have to sit there for a good hour.
That's
or
it.
More.
I'll play StarCraft and do all the achievements, but I'm not interested.
Yeah, it's hard. All right, well, here we are. Game number 3, ladies and gentlemen, Romanticide, to decide which of these 2 Terran bots will remain in the upper bracket to go up against Ketroc in a couple weeks, and which one will get knocked down. Actually, I haven't even really looked at the bracket here. So Strelok is going to go down and face the Harvester, and the loser of this will face Blinkerbot. Okay. So it's good that Jensi included a few TVP upgrades as well. There was, for all races, Jensi included a few upgrades in this most recent update patch. But he's got some TVP updates, so that'll be good if he does manage to, or if he doesn't manage to cinch things here against MicroMachine. But yeah, there's still some incredible games this season coming up. This is week 4 of 7. Still 3 more weeks to go. Still some crazy matches, and then our finals is just going to be absolutely insane. I'm predicting, I think Jensiiibot will get to the finals. I think both these bots will end up. Whichever one gets knocked down to the bottom bracket is just going to clean house and make it to the finals, I think.
Yeah, we could easily be seeing, exactly, a preview of it. And okay. Yeah, exactly. Apparently, Ketroc has a guide to the Lost Viking. Ketroc, he's got a guide to everything.
Oh, hell yeah. I'll check it out. I need to get that last achievement for it. I'm 1 short. But yeah, okay, so here we go. MicroMachine doing the same thing we saw earlier. It said doing that early expand. Once again, Jensiiibot is just kind of sitting on the 1 base with a star part. It's like a 1-1-1 build going down here for Jensi.
Yeah.
Is he going to do maybe some Hellion drop Liberator shenanigans again, like we saw last time?
I want to see more. Yeah, I want to see more of that. That was certainly effective there, especially with the way that MicroMachine had reacted to it in terms of target selection, and the SCVs didn't totally seem to understand you had to avoid the Liberator and the Hellions. It was just picked one, so we'll see what it picks up. I want them to put in the Technodrome from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I think that would be a good PF.
Why not? Ooh, a lot of things going down here. MicroMachine's going to start losing workers. Very reminiscent of, honestly, both our games so far here, but very much so of the last one. So if it all kind of pans out again, like it did last game, MicroMachine should be able to stabilize at the very least here. Obviously, is taking some losses. Ooh, an unfortunate place to be an SCV. Popping out of the command center. Actually gets up to the high ground and survives. Lucky little guy there. Cyclone's going to come try to do this, but actually there might be too much here. Jensi is going to go for the throat. Ooh, gets blocked out, though, at the last second. Nicely done from MicroMachine. Barely keeping this at bay right now. This is still a lot of lost mining time, a lot of damage being done here. Ooh, if he can get that, if he can get up. Oh, he's so close.
So sick. So sick.
So sick. That Cyclone is playing master. I'm
Yeah,
not
he's
gonna
still
say.
not.
He's baiting him really well.
Here comes the Liberator from the north again. Now, I think what happened last game is this Hellion and stuff army withdrew for the purpose of being picked up. I think this game, where it's just staying where it is actually more effective in a sense. Wandering into some tank fire, that one does get taken out. Has that Liberator swung in? No, it's still.
I don't know. Where did it go? It's up there. Yeah, it looks like he's waiting. Well, that medevac hasn't come by yet, has it? I think it's coming right now across the map to... Yep, there it is. So it has loaded up. Okay. So nice timing. I really like that how that works out. And Jensiiibot waits for all of his units to be in play. So it looks like it will group up with it and maybe just drop it on this ledge right here would be a good spot and let the Hellions go the rest of the way on foot.
All right, Liberator coming in.
He's going to go straight to the mineral line. There we go. Now the Hellion's starting to drop. Not the best spot for the Liberator, though.
Yeah, this time he will get challenged by the Cyclone right off the bat. Banshee already out. The SCVs, though, do not understand that there's a Hellion there. Although you can say that them spreading out just like normal is actually helpful, but he took a lot of damage where the Cyclone would not engage.
He actually lost one more worker
Yeah.
than he did last game at this exact same point. So did it go worse then? So it went better technically for Jensiiibot.
I think he lost more in the natural this time.
Yeah, it was more in the early. Yeah.
Because they stayed there way longer, and he just kept building workers down there too. So they just kept dying as soon as they popped out.
Oh my gosh, end of sword. I never hit the thumbs up button on the stream.
Oh no.
Did you?
I did.
Okay,
That's
well, you're better than I am.
First thing anyone does.
Well, hopefully everybody in chat has done it because we got a lot of people here who have not.
Well, that's what I figured. Like, if there's, X number of people watching, but there's Y number of thumbs up, and Y does not equal or exceed X, then I assume that you guys just don't like Andy.
That's probably it. That's what I was going to say. They just don't like... Well, I was going to say they don't like us, but it's probably me.
Yeah, I would never blame myself.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know what I was thinking.
I always deflect to Elliot. That's my locus of control. Banshee being taken out here. This Banshee's gone down all 3 games without much doing.
I guess he was... So even though MicroMachine lost more...
Yeah.
Or wait, 16. Oh, no. I'm sorry. Jensiiibot was at 16. So yeah, that was in the end better for Jensi.
Yeah.
Yes. And here we go. Yeah, we were asked this earlier. Does MicroMachine still do the gas trick? Yes, it does. We can see it in full action here. It only does it on the maps where the gases are next to each other, or else it crashes the bot or something.
Yeah, very true. So, I mean, that's got to be worth a worker or 2 there. He's only got, 4 mining off of 6, right?
Yeah, it's normally 6, so he's saving 2. Yeah, so it's like he lost 2 less workers, essentially.
Yeah, so that's 2.
That Reaper got obliterated.
That's painful. I love that the physics engine just kind of does that. Most kills are like normal, but every now and then one guy just gets rolled.
A lot. It's super subtle sometimes, but the physics are so good in this game. I was actually watching a game earlier on some rerun or whatever. If a disruptor dies on the top of a ramp, the little ball rolls down the ramp and rolls away. Yeah, no, the physics in this game are incredibly good, but it's so small and quick sometimes. You're looking at something else. A lot of the time you don't notice those little things. So it's just a lot of attention to detail has been put into this game. Why it's so good.
It's good. Good game. Good game.
Yeah, I love the physics engine in this. It's fun. All right, so MicroMachine has stabilized. We're going into our game 3. Both bots have just decided, okay, we're going to play the most standard TVT and just sit at home and wait for the other to attack now. But Jensiiibot has a nice little lead still.
Yeah, this time MicroMachine is pursuing Banshees a little bit more. I think it cut it off very quickly in the first game at least, but it is still going to continue to make some more here as it tries to play catch up economically. But it is, just a bit further behind. We're seeing the same sort of strategy upgrade-wise. MicroMachine going for a 4th base, trying to...
Oh, look at that. He's reading army supply there.
It is. It's
It's an incorrect read, but he's reading it.
Yeah, but well, I think it's correct for the position it's going to go.
I see.
Which is north, but of course there's a bigger army down in the middle that it's not factoring in, which is right there.
Ooh, yeah, that is MicroMachine will not be able to push into this. Don't do it, MicroMachine. Yes, can't. Good call.
Of recounted people. Tank seeds on the low. That's the second time too that it seeds on the low ground, like in range, but doesn't have the vision to do anything about it.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Two Banshees here now. They are getting pushed away a lot, but these two actually might be able to cause a little bit of chaos here. They do get a few workers, which is nice. Anything they can do to slow Jensiiibot down is going to be very helpful. Actually, Jensiiibot just going for the counterattack. There we go. Scan will get one of the Banshees. One remains.
So he's just about done the weapons upgrade. So I think part of the reason, don't forget the math exactly on this, but SCVs survive Banshee hits, but if you get the upgrade, then you can double shot them down. So the fact that he had 2 Banshees, I think that's why he gets the +1 ship upgrades. So the Banshees can double one shot,
Ooh, nice pull away. Barely saves that Banshee.
Here comes the Force. Each time here he's gotten these bases so far. He went after the gas here first to buy a little bit of time, but now going directly against the CC. Tanks and Vikings coming in. He will still get this.
Upgrades in Jensiibot's favor yet again here. Looking good. 1-1 is finished, so the Marines, but he's actually, he's just going to pull back. He's very content with killing a base and pulling back home, and I like the route he takes as well. It's much safer. It's not the quickest route back home, but really good pathing out of Jensi just to keep everything. Look at that line of Marines here. They ride in single file to hide their numbers.
Did indeed.
Even the tanks. Nice little line. All right, well, we're gonna have another little calm portion here. Catch our breaths.
Yeah. The someone asking about the Automaton 2000 that did like AI kind of micro tricks back in early StarCraft. I think, and someone can explain, but I think the key to that one was it was reading parts of the code that you're not allowed to if you're playing like this. Like it was able to predict where a tank was going to shoot and stuff like that. Whereas you can't really do that through this.
Oh, that's what you have to do, and that's what makes the best microers for humans is your ability to predict what's about to hit you or what's about to, be dived upon or something like that.
Well, it was. Have you ever seen that video? It swarms on tanks with lings, but it knows which ling is going to be hit, so then it spreads the other lings around it. So one ling gets hit, and so it takes individual shots. It's cool to see,
that's
but
crazy.
I think it was kind of reading into something whereas I don't think these can.
This is a good spot. Jensi's trying to push in here. The Viking numbers are just so crazy big for MicroMachine though. I don't know if Jensiibot's going to be able to keep air control. He might be able to just dive in while MicroMachine's unsieged. Big stim, but nothing happens.
Oh, 2 tanks trying to come for it. Insta death. Got the big choke location that we saw be very important last week.
Ooh, tanks in range of each other once more, but Jensiiibot will not win that battle. Marines are going to go in. They're stuttering back a little bit, so they're going to stay in the tank range, but they do manage to pick off a couple tanks. And more Marines just trickling across. Just Jensiiibot, is he just going to be able to rally push and win? He's got 120 supply to 70.
There are a lot of Marines still under these Vikings putting in work here. They're getting fired on as well, but I think there were too many of them that time. In the previous game, we saw a lot of Marines die, and then when the Vikings kind of camped over, there were only like 4 or 5 left. That time there were more like 13, and that was deadly.
Ooh, a hit squad coming in at the same time from the north. Jensiiibot is doing his usual tactics here, and he should be able to get a lot of workers. A lot of them very low. Actually, he's just going to target down the orbital. It's going to be close. Yeah, it looks like he's going to be able to get it. MicroMachine doesn't have enough to stop it.
Yeah, and this is the exact type of thing that was stopped last time. And he will lose the Marines here, but not until after they've already achieved their economic objective.
Got 2 more SCVs too.
Yeah.
35 in total. Hey, not bad though. Jensiiibot has lost 18, so MicroMachine's still putting up a damn good fight right now, but Jensi is in a huge lead. Double the army supply. Upgrades are looking insane. 3-3 for that bio is just going to be huge. Those Marines are going to be able to push in and tank some tank fire, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is looking good for Jensi. I think he might be able to cinch a win here. What a series. There's going to be so much to go back and look back at this and rewatch, and we'll talk about it again in our post-bot segment for all our Crown Club members. We're going to be looking at these games, and I'm sure we'll talk a lot about this one because so much has happened in this best of 3. I don't even know where to start.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot to look at here in terms of what were the turning points in this. Not that this one's over yet, but it's much more strongly in Jensiibot's favor this time. Had he even saved that one base to the north, then we might be on more even footing, but the supply here still 50 in favor of Jensiiibot, but him being maxed does at least give some opportunity to come back if he can't make something happen soon. But here comes another hit squad again, and again, these getting turned away last game was absolutely crucial. But the fact that they're getting so much done here again, and that he's not even contesting it. Look at this. Like,
oh, he's going to kill all the workers and the base, yeah. Oh, nothing to stop it.
Taken out. There's even a bunker there to help, but it's unoccupied.
MicroMachine's holding on for dear life here, and the army supply is not that much in Jensiibot's favor anymore like it was, but again, with the upgrades, with the positioning, with Jensiibot's economy now is just so much better than MicroMachine's. He should be able to seal the deal here, as long as he doesn't, just unsiege and move command in.
Yeah, economy is so much better. The Marines with that 3-3 against completely unupgraded units on the other end are just killers.
Yeah.
They're just,
well, and they help so much against the Vikings too, because MicroMachine loves to fly over those Marines. And
well, it's virtually at that differential, like a Marine with +3 is essentially 2 Marines.
Yeah.
Like it comes close to doubling the effectiveness when you're not keeping up in your own supply.
Well, MicroMachine gets a few shots up, but it does look like Jensi should be able to take air control here eventually. And once that happens, the tank should have pretty free reign to push in and take him out. 124 supply, army supply to 42. And yeah, Jensi could, again, just unsiege and just move in and probably win the game. And yeah, even getting more bases. Banshee's getting pushed away. Oh, MicroMachine put up such a good fight and showed us in game number 2 that he's nothing to be trifled with, but Jensiiibot with just some absolutely stellar play, some great upgrades, I guess. Those updates really coming in handy here, especially to deal with those Banshees.
Yeah, I think MicroMachine kind of pursues the very strategic timed upgrades, whereas Jensiiibot just kind of getting them throughout, eventually overwhelming. But yeah, he got them slower this time. Last game did end up getting more, but that's because the tech had progressed for battle cruisers and so on. But here, I think just getting the ship weapons, which I think is for the Banshees in specific and probably Vikings to some extent, yeah, you just end up in this position where a drawn-out fight goes further and further in Jensi's favor. And in the last 2 games, we saw the Marines get good enough that they could just dive onto tanks.
Yeah.
And that becomes the issue if once they're that good. Because yeah, fully upgraded Marines, like if you include stem combat shields +3/+3, are literally twice as good as just an unarmed Marine that you get at the start of the game. And if your tanks stay the same, then obviously you're gonna lose.
Yeah. Oh man, look at that bank too out of Jensi. Yeah, there's almost no way Jensiibot could lose this. Well, if he sits at home long enough and lets MicroMachine macro back up, maybe. But no, I do believe Jensi should be able to seal the deal here, and we'll go on to face Ketroc in the upper bracket there. So that'll be in 2 weeks' time. Another crazy TVT This TVT again, top notch. Yeah, MicroMachine's author saying it's nice to lose in a macro game for once. This was a hell of a macro series. All three games getting into that later game scenarios. We saw battle cruisers last game, and this has just been some phenomenal TVT. One for the record books, Endersword.
Definitely the highest level that we've seen. If we sound like tasteless for a moment, such high level play. You know. And to have them on even like there's no gimmick here, there's no like sniping a weird exploit or anything like that. This is
straight up play.
This is straight up play. 3 incredibly good games splitting the series. It's going to go in Jensiibot's favor, but on a razor's edge.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, just this has lived up to what we were hoping it was from kind of the start of the season when we saw they'd inevitably clash this week.
Wow. What a series. Jensiibot coming in. We'll clear the rest of this up, and we will fast forward here. Nicely done. Tell Jen. We'll pass the word on. Yeah, you can tell them in the Discord or something. You guys hang out there together, don't you? I'm proud of both of you. MicroMachine will go down into that lower bracket again to face BlinkerBot. So we'll have a TVP next week with MicroMachine, and I think now that MicroMachine's in the lower bracket, should have a nice smooth sailing path to the finals. But we'll see. You never know.
Yeah, you never know. But I kind of agree. I think that this may have been a preview of the way this is going to end up. Mm-hmm. But we'll see. And there's plenty of time between. I forget how many updates are potentially left. For people, if you can tweak. I think even if these don't get tweaked, so okay, one more apparently. Even if neither of these bots get tweaked, I still can't. While you'd have to now give the edge to Jensiibot, you still couldn't 100% predict which one was going to win, because it came down to one or two small things, such as really in both games there was the early Hellion attacks and how effective they were or weren't. And then the Vikings flying over Marines a couple times. I think when the Viking over Marine thing lost game 1 and 3 and won game 2. Mm-hmm. Like the exact same movement. It's just there were slightly less Marines in game 2.
Yeah.
When it did it. So, yeah.
Well, what a series. Definitely one for the records, and we'll be talking about that again in our post-bot show tomorrow. So check out our Crown Club membership and all of that. We are going to go to a quick little 5-minute break here, and then we'll come back with even more ProBots action. We've got 2 more best of 3s. We've got Spiny versus Tier after the break, and then we'll be wrapping things up with one more TVT, BenBotBC versus DominionDog. So it's going to be exciting. Some great games yet to come. Stay tuned, everybody, here on ProBots for day 4 of season 1 here on ESChamp. We'll see you after the break. Welcome back to ProBots, everybody. We are here on day 4 of season 1 in the year 2021. Joining me is Endersword, and we just watched some exciting games, a great TVT that we're going to see, and we're going to see even more today. We've got 2 more best of 3s. We've got Zerg versus Protoss coming up next, so switch things up, and then a TVT, one more Terran versus Terran to finish things off tonight. Before we dive into all that, again, make sure you check everything out. Stay up to date on our forum. You can join our Crown Club membership and check out our post-bot show. We do a bunch of little extra content stuff. You get some freebies, some free artwork, that kind of thing. So definitely check it out. It goes a long way to support ESChamp. But yeah, let's go ahead and pull up our bracket and talk about some of our games coming up here, Endersword. We have got a doozy coming up next.
Yeah,
Tier versus Spiny.
A non-TVT.
One of the few.
Yeah, exactly. This one will be quite unpredictable, as we mentioned up top. That I don't know what Tier is going to do. I don't know that Tier knows what Tier is going to do. And Spiny will also do something. So I don't know exactly how it's going to go. And obviously, Spiny's reaction and the success of it. Tier could cannon rush. Tier could proxy Tempest. Tier could go straight macro. Tier could do a mothership rush. Tier could kill its own nexus and replace one in the bottom corner. It could do whatever. We don't know. But Spiny is more likely to play, I guess, straight up, but it does have a few rushes in its wheelhouse, and it also has the ability in some cases to kind of absorb and counterpunch. In a lot of cases, we've seen Spiny kind of do things like just go directly to Broodlord and take a massive end game.
Yeah, well, and here's some stats here. Spiny was Season 2 champion of 2020, so last year. A few updates here. Some new strategies maybe coming out. I won't say too much here, but it does have fixed a little bug and some new strategies chosen specifically actually for Tier and 4-gate bots. So Spiny getting ready for these TVPs specifically here. But Tier also ready. Tier did some upgrades on the Zerg side of things here, updated just some creep burrowed Zergling clearing. So is it going to be able to deal with Zerglings blocking bases a little bit easier, stuff like that? Added a follow-up to a build, even some PvP updates here. So yeah, both bots coming in with some fresh new stuff, and we'll have to see how this pans out.
That does kind of imply, if that's where Tier's focus his time, it kind of implies a longer or a more macro style game as opposed to gimmicky.
That's true.
If you're cheesing, you don't really care if there's a Ling burrowed at your 4th or something. So maybe it is a good indicator in that way. Tier is probably the most, as you can see from the win rate, kind of good but coin flippy, like we mentioned before, which is a 54% win rate means it's beating some of the best some of the time, but is also dropping games to lower bots some of the time. To have that high in ELO, but a lower win rate.
I'm a little. We need Tier to lose a few more because we need that exact 50% win rate here.
Exactly, perfect.
Perfectly balanced win rate.
Oh, thanks.
That's what we're looking for, Tier.
It would be amazing if it turns out that was the goal at the end. Design an AI that loses exactly half of its games.
That would be awesome. Yeah, check out AIarena.net. That is where you can find all these bots, where they have all qualified from. A lot of bots taking part. If you want to join the AI Arena ladder, we do have a bot template below in the links, and you can make your own bot and get started and go from there. It's a lot of fun. We want more bots and ProBots. It means we'll be doing this for a lot longer. Yeah, it's good stuff. All right, we're getting our next match loaded up here. I don't know when it'll be ready, but we've got a TVZ coming up here on ProBots. Thank you, everybody, for hitting that thumbs up button. Do much appreciate it. Oh, we are ready. So, ladies and gentlemen, our next best of 3, Tier versus Spiny, here on day 4 of ProBots. Get your votes in, everybody.
Raspers, Spiny. Tears, Tier.
Yeah, the poll is open. Type !vote, and then the bot name. Who do you think is going to take it? I thought we were about to see something real cheesy out of Tier. I saw 2 probes leaving at the same time, but it looks like one is going off to scout. The other is just here to wall. So Tier with his inevitable 2-base build by the looks of it.
He will inevitably expand to the natural.
Or is it just a mind game? Maybe he's just going to 1 base.
It might be.
You don't know. Wow, that is a really early pull out of Spiny.
It is indeed, and
those are 6. Is he 6 pooling?
He's 12, 14.
No, it's because 6 slings pop out, so you could still call it a 6 pull, right?
Yes, you could.
It's the equivalent of the old school 6 pull. I'm just so damn old that I can't let it go. 6 Zerglings are on the way, and they're coming across the map. Base will be coming down behind us, but will Tier have his wall ready?
Yeah, he's almost building in such a way that it's not going to be a wall exactly. Let's take a look at what he's doing. It was interesting placement, but I think he looks prepared.
Yeah, and
Strelok coming. It won't quite be on time, but it's there. Like, it looks okay.
I do want to note too so there's a transition out of the 12 pool into standard macro. That's why we see that base coming down. So this is really meant just to get some early aggression, maybe sneak in, which the wall isn't complete. There's no zealot out in time. The Zerglings are going to be able to start attacking the pylon, but
he's fine. Yeah,
man, they oblige really nicely and are like, oh, okay, here, we'll back up so you can get into your choke point.
Because of the exact location of the pylon, he essentially had a choke between the pylon and
That's
the
true.
Cyber Core too. But yeah, Spiny obviously should have dove in instead of out. But yeah, it could have also sat there and done some damage on these buildings. But
it could probably kill the Cyber Core.
Yeah, it wouldn't have done it in time because once he's got 2 zealots, he can send 1. But he could have. A human would have been annoying because there's no real need to go back.
Yeah. Well, at least Spiny's transitioning out of it because that was, for the most part, a failed 12 pool.
Good hold. Yeah, I mean, it was kind of. I was kind of wondering about some of the building placement. It turned out to actually be really well calculated to have that spot between, and the timing worked out really well, like as well as it could for not having the zealot just go into the wall.
Yeah,
like that to have it slip in between the pylon and the cyber is pretty good. It looks like he's getting. I don't know if this is totally a response to just the fact that he got hit with lings early, but he's certainly making a lot of gateway units early.
Yeah. Well, it looks like I thought he was going to build maybe an immortal out of that robo, because he does do a zealot immortal 1-base build.
Yeah,
but no, just more depths coming out. Robotics facility or robo, whatever the heck it is. Yeah, robo facility is just sitting there, not getting used at the moment, but hopefully soon. I'd love to see a Twilight Council too, since he's going so zealot adept heavy, and get either charge or glaives or something.
Yeah, I think if he got a warp prism, he could probably do something with the adepts and zealots if you kind of adepted into the front and zealoted into the back.
I like how those are verbs.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, you want to zealot on down to the coffee bar? And
yeah,
does that mean, you could use it as walking fast? Because the zealots, when they get their charge upgrade, hey, let's zealot down to the,
speed lot
down to the gas station.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Speaking of speed, Zergling speed is being researched. More and more Zerglings being produced as well. So it looks like Spiny is just going to go for a very heavy early Ling play with Burrow now on the way as well. So he will attempt to burrow and block future expansions out of tier. But tier's just going to be sitting on 2 as Stalkers. And there we go. Immortals finally producing. I think we're just going to see a nice 2-base push out of tier.
Yeah, it's certainly shaping up that way. I don't know whether this build was like its intention or just kind of a response given that there was early aggression, but it does look like that's what we're gonna get, and it looks like it's gonna be reasonably good.
Yeah, it'll be a strong attack for sure. Spiny's sitting on 2 bases though. Will that make him a little bit safer because he's got roaches coming out as well? I think his army supply is just going to be so much bigger than it would be if he was on 3 bases, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
so he might be able to deal with it.
I think it's going to depend to how they engage exactly. We've seen this go wrong for some people that have an army that should destroy a batch of lings, but then they over micro it and they end up getting everything surrounded by lings. They don't fight as a pack. So we've seen that micro go wrong a number of times.
Mm-hmm. Or Prism too, that's going to be huge.
A bunch of zealots with an immortal core, some stuff like this should be fine.
Yeah.
But it really depends. And then with the War Prism to support here, like this should be able to hold a pack of lings and do some work against roaches. But I don't know that it will. It will really come down to the control of it.
Man, don't want to stutter step too much, or like you said, over micro.
Supply block there is big. Here's why it wanted to clear out.
Ooh, sneaky ring.
Okay, if this delays everything just that little bit to clean it up, that's a big plus. Every second that this is delayed is in Spiny's favor for sure. particularly as the Ravagers start to finish. You want this army to kind of fight in a stable pack. It looks like he's not actually pushing at all. It almost looks like this is more
Taking a third, yeah.
taking a third, which doesn't totally jive, but that's definitely what it looks like.
Yeah, the observer pops out, we'll clean it up, and yeah, it was just a little push up to ensure the safety of the third base coming down. So Tier playing a much longer macro game, which, no, it's not unheard of out of Tier, but I think Tier has a bit of a reputation as, you know, kind of a doing some gimmicky, cheesy builds and early attacks and that kind of thing. But no, just playing very standard and safe this time around.
Yeah, definitely. And a lot of this indicates a longer game. He's getting a second robo. He's getting charge. He just had a forge finish. So he's obviously thinking upgrades. This is not intended to be a game-ending push, and it actually is looking more and more. I think he did intend to push, and single lane stopped him from doing so.
I think he should have, because we have seen how strong Spiny gets once it gets to the late game. And now that we've got all sorts of new things popping out for Spiny now on 3 bases as well, Tier might need to do something a little different. Either needs to attack or start switching up the tech, I think, a little bit. Maybe to get something, maybe moving to air or I don't know what. But here we go. Actually, Spiny will be the aggressor. Some Ravagers might get some good biles. Does land on a couple of adepts there. Zerglings get mincemeated, though. They do not last long in that fight.
Weird zealot behavior. I guess it's because of the biles, but kind of
what were they doing?
Themselves get picked off. And half the army was not really here for this fight. Coming in here now is going to help a lot. We'll be able to take out the Ravagers. Is the observer here to kill the burrowed roaches?
I think it's just to the left of the army or something. Yeah, there he is.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, it does push back. Tier holds. Nicely done. Is going to even kill a few more overlords on the way out here. But now, good hold. Tier now on 4 bases as well. No upgrades out of either bot. I'm surprised, other than Burrow, I think, and speed, obviously, out of Spiny. But no attack upgrades, no armor upgrades, especially since Tier does have those forges. I'm surprised we haven't seen anything yet. Oh, okay, +1 is getting close to finish.
+1 coming, so that does help, especially with the zealot charge. Now this nice core of 4 immortals is definitely going to make this a lot stronger. Like, one of them is not really enough, but now, like, these queens really ventured on out here, and they're going to pay for it. And without all the cover, these Hydras are not going to get done what they were intended to.
Yeah, that is not enough Hydras, I was going to say. And they're still fighting, though. They want to take a fight. It'd be nice if they could pick off a prism, but I think, Tier should be able to pull everything back and keep it safe. Ooh, he's actually pushing on to creep now, too. With the observers, he'll be able to start clearing up some creep. That'll be helpful.
Yeah, Tier really having trouble, though, keeping his army together and kind of on task. It's kind of getting pulled apart here. Like, he's winning, and he's kind of taken the army supply lead, but it should actually be much more dominating than we're seeing. Like, these should be cleaned up with almost no casualties, but he is getting units because it's so spread out.
Yeah, taking some scrappy fights, not having total army cohesion there. It's looking good, though. Spiny is taking over pretty much the entire map with creep here. So while he is down on supply, he's got great vision. We'll have plenty of time to react to any push that Tier does. But this is the most passive I think I've ever seen Tier. Look how many immortals there are. Jeez, 9, 10, 11, 3 producing at a time.
I'm a little worried about this, though. Lurkers, we very rarely see in ProBots. I can't even remember the last one we did. But that is the type of thing that could make an AI really screw up. If it's too tentative, they shred things. If you can't detect them, they're going to shred you. The Immortals, at least, are going to be better at taking a shot or two from them. But if you step into the wrong choke and there's 2 or 3 lurkers sitting there, the army's gone.
Well, if he loses the observer, too, the attack is over. You need to either go home or you're dead.
Yeah, here they're going to burrow at the top of the ramp here. How is this going to go? Luckily, the Immortals at the bottom will absorb the Lings on their way down.
Finally, Tier is in full-on assault mode. The Immortals are just going to gun through anything. They don't care. They will shoot it down. There is so much firepower here, but can they get to the Lurkers?
All right, they're now bare on the Lurkers, but they are a little distracted. They're going to lose a lot of value here.
He's still got 6 alive. Yeah, they're starting to take some hits. The lurkers are holding.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, if he had prioritized targeting those lurkers down,
Didn't know
he
to.
would have crushed through this.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about. It didn't know to target fire them down as the priority 1 thing, and it didn't know to split away from. See it splitting from vials and stuff very well, but it doesn't know to not.
There's still enough here, though.
Yeah.
He's still gonna push
There
through.
might still be, but 1 or 2 more shots here could clear it. But
You could say that for either side. With 5 immortals, 1 or 2 shots can bust through anything Zerg. It is actually 72 army supply to 32. I think Tyr might have just done it. Wow.
yeah, because, we got infestors coming is a bit of the Hail Mary here. Fungals could definitely turn this around. 6 of them, though, and no actual support for it is tough. If there were still some units in this coming, then maybe, but yeah.
Can we see the kills on these immortals? There's some low immortals on health there, but they are living up to their name. And I'm sure they've got, 15 kills, 36 kills, 16. Yeah, these immortals did overtime. That's what won him the game for sure, was just his mass immortal count here. He lost so many to the lurkers, but I do believe Tyr has done it.
Yeah, now breaking through here. Oh, there comes the Colossus that I didn't even know he was building. That helps out for sure. So yeah, barely breaking through, but does break through. The Immortals are definitely, if you're going to control badly against lurkers, you at least want to have Immortals to do it, because they can take shots that nothing else would have survived with. Yeah. And then once you've got time and it gets the barrier back, then they become immortal, frankly. So yeah, really, really well done there. It was unclear at the start how that was going to go, but Tyr doing it with the slow macro game.
Yeah, it worked out. Got that big immortal death ball and pushed across for the win. All right, so game 1 going to Tyr. We're going to get game number 2 loaded up here and see if he can seal the deal, or if Spiny will be able to bring us to an ace match. Who knows? Spiny's definitely got it in him.
Definitely does. There was a few moments there. It could have gone the other way for sure. He did a really good job keeping him at bay for the early game and put creep absolutely everywhere. But that immortal core is just so stable, and that's ultimately what did it. I kind of thought early on it seemed like it was going to be more the zealots that were decisive, but they weren't. They actually weren't that big of a factor in it, other than to form like a small temporary front line.
When you say immortal core, I think of it's like a mothership core, but you can instead build like a super immortal or something.
That would be good.
It's a cool thought. Game number 2, ladies and gentlemen, between these two, this Protoss versus Zerg. Let's go ahead and dive into it right now on ESChamp.
The guy that was like the GameStop supporter had to say that in Congress.
Raspers.
Because his name was like Roaring Kitty. He's like, I am not a cat.
Oh, hold on, Nick.
Tears. Tyr.
All right, Golden Wall, everybody's favorite map. Tyr doing, I think, the same build here. Gonna get an early expand and another 12 pool out of Spiny. Do you think the 12 pool will get in this time?
I'm not even sure if this is shorter or not. I think it's an easier to defend wall. It's up a ramp instead. But depends how he built it. I really liked how he built it in the first game. Let's see what the building placement is. And obviously he has to start a zealot fairly quickly, which he should. He's going to scout this. So presumably it responds to that.
All right, Lings are on the way. Gateway's only halfway done, though.
Yeah.
This could get a little dicey.
It can indeed.
Ooh. What are you doing, Tyr?
Yeah.
Look at that. Tyr, there's some shenanigans planned, perhaps.
Doing the old back path. Okay.
Oh, I'd love to see, defend wall up, get 2 bases, and then attack from the back path.
Yeah. All right. Does he start his out right away? He does. So I think this is fine. There are Lings already on the way, but he can Yeah, he should be able to kind of wall this in the same way.
Yeah. Well, it's actually a much weirder spot.
That is different. That's yeah.
Things are going to be in for sure.
He's still going to be okay. The Zealot's going to be here in a couple seconds. It is more exposed, but I think, yeah. Okay, they reacted the same tentative way despite a different situation.
Well, not as much, though. They just pulled back a little bit. Now, actually, they've got a decent surround. Yeah, they got a great surround. The Lings are in.
Yeah.
Endersword, he's doing it. He's trying to tie things up here with his 12 pool, and he does, again, have that hatchery to fall back on, so any damage done is good.
Yeah, so he's got to recognize this and go down with the... Okay, it's not going to, unfortunately. The probe has to... The probes have to be pulled. There's no half measure to it. And the Lings were so low that a probe pull could have won. There were like 5 Lings with 5 hit points left, but it's going to go single file here. And that's not gonna go great.
Yeah, not gonna work. 2 Zealots will never finish. An Immortal, maybe that Robo facility up top might finish, and maybe he could start an Immortal. But hey, this is all but over. Such a delay. Even if Tyr is able to stabilize, he is so far delayed at this point that Spiny is just gonna steamroll through him.
He's all right. There we go.
He's losing so much money doing this too.
Didn't even, I don't think, cancel that. Oh, he didn't.
Oh, he got a booster.
And it just re-chronoed the dead gateway.
Mwah, 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 mwah. All right, well, Spiny with a nice little attack here will be able to bring us to a game 3. Nice quick game 2 here. I like it. Tyr getting a little taste of his own medicine, perhaps.
There's the Immortal. We'll clear it though.
Hey, the Immortal did come out. Look at that. And he holds.
But there's so much stuff here.
Nah, he's so far behind. Yeah, here comes the next wave of Lings. Immortal's half dead.
If there weren't only 3 workers left, then there's a chance.
Then maybe, yeah.
But,
no, it's.
But there are. Oh,
and they're not even mining mineral. Okay, now
he's gonna rebuild this from scratch.
He's gonna have a lot of gas. I guess that's nice. So if he can ever get that mineral income up, just maybe. But yeah, the Immortal dies, the Ravages are out, and game number 2 comes to a swift end. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got ourselves another ace match.
Yeah,
excellent.
There we go. Quicker.
Excellent stuff.
It's a game of inches, and that one was, yeah, definitely just building slightly different, forcing them around the pylon instead of using the pylon as kind of a choke, and then the Zealot not a target switcher, just kind of hitting its first thing, and then didn't finish Lings off. Need it to prioritize the low ones again.
Yeah, good micro out of Spiny. All right, so we're getting game number 3 loaded up here, and we'll see which of these 2 bots will be able to take it and move on in the upper bracket, and which one will get knocked down to face. Oh, I had it open, but then I closed it. So the loser will go down to face 4-gate bot. So we have another PvZ potentially, or PvP if Tyr gets knocked down. So either way, it's going to be exciting. I do think that, I don't know, it's hard to say. Who's better equipped to deal with a 4-gate, Tyr or Spiny? Real quick before we hop into game 3.
I think Spiny.
Probably Spiny?
Probably. Well, no, as I say that, I second guess it because there's no wall and the 4-gate's really good. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, we'll find out who moves on here. Game number 3, Spiny versus Tyr. Let's hop into it.
Raspers. Spiny. Tears. Tyr.
Now, what's interesting in those 2 matches, and we're kind of getting again, it makes sense that Tyr did the same thing because it won the first game. Spiny did the same thing despite losing the first game.
It's got its plan in mind, and it is going to follow that plan, Endersword.
It's going to do it again. Now, does Tyr change, though? Because now it has lost with the early expand. So it obviously has.
It already has.
Not going to do this.
No wall though.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
I think because Spiny does a similar thing, which is it made 6 lings and it made like a couple more, but it wasn't a ling flood. So I think because he made the gateway earlier and closer to home, if he gets a zealot or 2 out and there's probe support, then he just easily holds it, and then we go on to some other part of the game.
Yeah, it does, I guess, come down to how much can Spiny slow down Tier. Can he slow him down enough for that next big Ravager Zergling Roach push that he pulled off last game? And yeah, we'll see. It's going to come down to Tier's defense now. 6 Zerglings are on the way. Hatchery is being built as well. So there is going to be the follow-up for Spiny. And actually, yeah, this is way better for Tier just because that pylon is nice and secure.
These are super tight. Zealot is going to be out.
Way better for Tier.
The Zealot may get surrounded, but it's not going to lose the 2nd Zealot and the 3rd Zealot. Yeah, it's much better. The only way is if he then does not expand well behind it.
Oh, that's not good. Don't pull all the probes, though.
It's okay to threaten.
Yeah, he's like, hey, I'll do it.
Yeah. He doesn't want to get surrounded, so he loses the 1 probe, pulls his Zealot back, which I like, and now with the 2nd Zealot out, I think he's perfectly safe. Yeah, has to get that guy back, but he was fine. And
Zealots don't retreat.
Even a 3rd and a 4th are going to come. Then is he going to go into the Adept that he did before?
So this is his 1 base Zealot Immortal push. I don't think Adepts will be a part of the equation. I think it's just going to be straight Adept or Zealot Immortal.
Yeah, you're right. It's going to be a lot cleaner. It took a while. If this again is anything like the first game, where Spiny was held and then went into Roach Ravager, it took a while to get to kind of the Ravager side of that and get a decent army up. So if Tier is going to hit a lot earlier and Spiny's getting a 3rd base, as long as Tier hits a reasonable timing, then this could be quite scary.
Well, I would imagine there is a timing involved because there's no 2nd base. He's just getting that Immortal on the way now. More and more Zealots popping out. So I think once we get... I'm thinking 2 Immortals. Once we see 2 Immortals, he'll start pushing.
To follow. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, War Prism would be a good addition.
I think he has to. Yeah, there has to be.
Oh, maybe just 1. Okay, here we go.
1, getting the Observer, I guess. Yeah.
It could help give him some high ground vision, help the Immortal deal with ramps, potentially, like right here. So.
Yeah, Stalker to chase.
Ooh, 3rd base for Spiny. That's not good. This might just be a game-ending push. 21 army supply to 9 in favor of Tier, and more reinforcements should be coming across slowly. No Warp Prism, no reinforcing pylon, so they will have to walk all the way across the map. But as long as this initial army doesn't get taken out, you should be okay. That being said, there are Zerglings and Roaches in production. 2 Queens about to pop out as well. It's not a huge force. It's only 6 Zealots and an Immortal, but that Immortal is the key here.
Yeah, and it will be reinforced by Stalkers, mostly because there's nothing forward, and they cross the map faster.
Where are you going, Queen?
Yeah, 2nd Immortal is going to come. The Zealots in front. Oh, trapping 1 Roach here is really good.
Oh, no, poor guy.
Zealots getting pretty low, so we're just going to be down to the there. Okay, the 2nd group of Zealots doing some work.
Yeah, once more Zealots get here, it should be enough, but 12 more Lings on the way. 3 Roaches in production as well. The Zealots have been pretty much cleaned up. The Immortal is still with the Stalkers at the edge of creep here, picking off units that are trickling in. But if Spiny just goes into full-on production mode, he's got the economy, he's got the worker lead, he should be able to push this back and maybe even just kill Tier, because Tier is still on 1 base with no follow-up. So this has to win Tier the game, and that Immortal's about to go down.
He's losing it right up front, kind of trapped behind. He's got to take these out. There should be a 2nd Immortal coming. There it is. Now with these Stalker support, should be like he needs a forward pylon is the big thing that he's doing. There's no way to reinforce in position, so there's always going to be a pretty big defender's advantage on Spiny's side. Here the Lings kind of getting picked off here. The Bile's not really helping out. He really took that really well. There's still Lings coming, but as long as he can keep the number scare low enough, he could still go back on the aggressive side, and there should be another immortal crossing the map at the time. If he gets 2 at a time, then I think he's won.
Oh yeah, imagine if he had that second immortal. Those stalkers blocked him in like those jerks that block ambulances going down the street. And yeah, if he had 2, he might just win.
Yeah. It looks like he has broken here, and yeah, there comes a big second wave.
Oh, Spiny, you just have to hold. He's cranking out as many Zerglings as he can, but they're just trickling out. And without enough cohesion, the Stalkers and Immortals are able to kite them so nicely. And with that, I was looking, it looks like I thought Spiny might be able to hold that off, but just not enough. Man, 2 Immortals, look how powerful that is.
Yeah, getting 2 together is the key. Like, that one can fall back while the other one's still shooting. He only lost kind of that first one because it got blocked by its own Stalkers, or else he could have had the 2 right off the bat.
Yeah.
But that was the only chance to really push this back. And unfortunately for Spiny, it does not, and this is all taken out.
All right, so next week we will have another PvZ 4-gate bot versus Spiny. Tyr will remain in the upper bracket, and we'll find out who his opponent will be in our next series coming up. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But yeah, great hold, Tyr, phenomenal job. I do like that one base. It worked out really well. I did think Spiny was going to be able to hold, but just the nonstop stream of stalkers was enough.
Yeah. The thing with that sort of thing is you're not going to really be able to push back. You've got a stream of sustainable forces that are kind of hard to deal with and easy at kiting things coming across the map. You're never going to go on the aggressive strong enough. The key is to basically hold till he runs out of money. Is kind of the only way to do it, or if he had gotten maybe some spines and fought in front of them, but we've seen bots struggle to do that, things like that. The Ravagers, which is a decent sometimes choice, is not really going to be good in that situation because the armies are too small and you're not engaged and tied up enough that you're ever going to be hit by a bile, and you're not playing a back and forth dance. When it's got a force, it wants to just move in, so the biles aren't going to really deter it. So it's hard to deal with there.
Yeah,
you can stabilize, but it's hard to push back.
Yeah. Well, and Tyr's attack did hold out there. Nicely done. So we're getting our next match loaded up. Let's go ahead and talk about that. BenBotBC versus DominionDog. So now BenBot received some updates. DominionDog did not. So this should be a fun little ending to our show today. BenBotBC, obviously known for his battle cruisers. And then DominionDog with some phenomenal play. Formerly known as Fidelina, is now a Terran. Fidelina was Zerg, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The creator Fidelina has multiple.
I know it's hard. These people with multiple bots confuse me.
Yeah. So this is a Terran incarnation, and BenBotBC here we see at 1883. This is, again, I've described it as a bot that always looks like it's losing until it wins, and we'll see if that's what happens. DominionDog seemed to indicate that the plan was to punch BenBot before it could really get going. So instead of trying to counter the kind of predictable BC side of it, was an attempt to try and get something going. But BenBot has really good early defense. It makes this kind of weird, again, doesn't look like it should work, sort of bunker widow mine, like idiot magnet that it puts between bases, but it works just enough. So we'll see. Obviously, DominionDog knows that, and what's it gonna do?
Find out. Oh, you missed a bunch, mind me. Well, good thing you can watch the VOD. I think, can you rewind live on YouTube? Isn't that a...
Yeah, usually you can for live stream.
So.
You can rewind. But I mean...
Good games today.
Sync with Chad. It's so fun. Yeah.
You can watch them later. But definitely go back and watch them. Phenomenal games so far today. And we've got one more awesome TVT to wrap things up here. I believe voting is open. Type in !vote and type in your bot's favorite name, or your favorite bot's name. whoever you think is going to win it. Fun fact: everybody voted against Tier in our last match.
Really, everybody.
Yeah, everybody. 100% of the votes went to Spiny.
Only because I didn't vote, but I voted with
your heart.
With my glove.
Oh yeah, get out your Thanos stuff. All right, as he does that, so BenBot getting a vote here. Get your votes in, everybody. Let us know who you think is going to win. Get this loaded up. It is inevitable.
Yeah, we got him.
We got him. All right, and again, make sure you check out everything below. Check out our forum. Check out our Crown Club membership if you like extra ProBots content. We'll be taking a look at all these games we're seeing here tonight with a couple of bot authors. Who we haven't been told who's joining us next week, have we?
I don't know who is this.
I don't know. So hopefully we'll have some nice bot authors joining us. Ketroc will be joining. Okay, so we'll have Ketroc and maybe someone else. We'll see what happens. Because we've been getting 2 usually, so we'll see. Is the game ready? It says soon.
It does say soon.
Oh, it did. I didn't even see the timer start. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for our final best of 3 of the night here on day 4 of ProBots Season 1. Let's go ahead and dive into it now. BenBotBC versus DominionDog. Let's go.
Who is on these stairs?
Blossiers. BenBotBC. Fidolinas. DominionDog.
All right, here we are, Romanticide. Hey, check it out in the camera. I can kind of do a handsome Squidward face.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our final best of 3 of the night. Doozy of a TVT here. We're just going to have to kind of wait and see what happens. DominionDog with some phenomenal play a couple of weeks ago, but BenBot as well with some really good play. We'll now be starting things off with the proxied barracks.
Yeah,
I like it.
What's going on here?
A proxy barracks. I just told you.
It is. There it is. Yeah, is this the second one? Is this a bunker? I think it definitely, if he kind of throws a bunker, does anything to slow down what DominionDog was intending to do, and then just goes BCs anyway. I think it'll be lovely.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Yep, is going to throw that bunker down to deny any expansion. So this is not a game-ending move. It's meant simply, I believe, to slow down the opponent, and then probably work into those battle cruisers or something. So
it's going to be an interesting counterplay here. DominionDog had no intention of taking out
DominionDog doesn't know. DominionDog doesn't care.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this is not slowing down shit. It's just.
Oh, you're proxying? That's cute. Doesn't faze me.
I don't know.
All right, yeah, factory getting close to halfway done. So I would have to imagine it's going to be an early cyclone, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I got to imagine that's what he's going to do, is try and kind of harass with that. Neither of them is going economic at all yet. And I've always said I love when my opponent denies me from doing something I didn't want to.
Oh no, you've slowed me down.
Exactly. Like it's for my old Dark Shrine cheese thing. I always love pretending that 2 lanes stopped me from putting a Nexus down that I didn't have the minerals for.
Whatever will I do? I guess I'll build DTs with those extra minerals.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I don't think he's aware of it. He's going right up to the starport. I think that was just always the plan, and getting the tank here early. BenBot is, just doing something else.
Yeah, well, it didn't do anything, but it also didn't not do anything, and it might still do something. Maybe something will come down the ramp and kind of get sucked into the area of the bunker and die, or I don't know. But no, DominionDog, if it's outside of his main base, he doesn't care.
Yeah, getting the
Oh,
Liberator.
here we go. Now he does.
He's pulling down. Is he going to see this? He could just kind of siege it up. Yeah.
Yeah, that was perfect timing to siege up and take this out easy.
Yeah. That's
Shouldn't take any losses here.
Just don't get into range. The SCV's already dead. And this is just a sacrifice. There's one in the back, but it won't be able to keep up.
It's a perfect fight. DominionDog hasn't taken a shot. Oh, here we go. The Hellion, maybe? No, the BenBotBC's units. Okay, finally, Hellion gets a little poke, but they really want to get to that bunker. And it's just not going to live much longer here. Free kills, free donations. This is great for DominionDog right now.
Oh, they let them get away.
and Liberator now as well. But one base versus one base. BenBot also kind of no intention of expanding by the looks of it.
Yeah, I thought at least he'd start a CC behind this. It looks like he's getting the bunker. It's now kind of in full-on defense. I'm about to be attacked mode. And you're right. that is what's going to happen. So BenBot definitely deviating from the plan.
Oh, that's not good.
I think in an attempt to slow this sort of thing down, it just didn't at all.
This is still a very scary army, though. 34 army supply to 18, and with 2 siege tanks to 1. This is a great spot for BenBot to hold. But all it's going to take is that Liberator to get into a really good spot, and he might be able to just clean out Marines, tanks, everything here. And as long as those tanks can get in range of the bunker, DominionDog should have not too much trouble to push up here.
I think the way he's advancing is a little bit of a weird game of inches here.
It's safe, slow and steady wins the race, Undersword.
I guess so, but so does flanking a little.
Yeah,
So that
it would be nice.
Wins the race faster, which is a key attribute in races.
Well, if you look at the units lost tab, I don't think DominionDog has really lost anything yet.
He hasn't. There's a good hit. And
Yeah, nothing. 12 Marines, though, for BenBot have been killed. Imagine 12 more Marines here to help. I think BenBot might stand a chance, but 45 army supply to 16. The soup does not lie.
Yeah, and now we get that like Widowmine defense position.
Yeah, they're not going to do anything against tanks, though.
Well, there's also no turret here. There's not enough there.
There's actually no detection either, so maybe DominionDog walks up and eats a mine shot to the face, but I don't know. I highly doubt it.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. I think he may get some splash damage on these. So tank on the high ground does go down, and he'll move up.
Ooh, should have just shot it down one more, so he might lose the tank, but nope, doesn't even lose the tank here. Just a great advance out of DominionDog. Here we go. The mines are going to clean out the Marines, but I guess they're expendable at this point. As long as those tanks and Liberators stay alive, DominionDog should be able to just keep inching forward here. And yeah, 35, 36 army supply to 9. And I think we can go ahead and safely say DominionDog has taken a nice game 1 and did even get a second base behind this. So it's not like this was an all-in or anything. It was just meant to be a slow push forward and keep closing in around your opponent and eventually choke him out and get the win. Nicely done.
Yeah, it just kind of worked really well. BenBot unfortunately played directly into the ideal situation for this to encounter. Yeah, so we'll see if BenBot deviates now into something else.
Yeah.
BenBot floating off stuff at the end there, like a real BC player.
Yeah, we got to have some, at least some salty Terrans.
Yeah, of course.
Or else it's not realistic enough. All right, game number 2 will be loaded up here momentarily. And the way it's looking here, BenBot might be in a little bit of trouble here.
Yeah, that one didn't look too great. It almost looked like he was going out of his way to prevent something like this from happening, but it didn't at all.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of the type of thing you would do to try and stop a really early cheese by kind of containing or something, but it just didn't. Like, since it was just kind of effortlessly a tank first, and there's no way to deal with that from the bunkered position, didn't matter.
Yep, didn't matter. Didn't matter. All right, game number 3 is just... I'm sorry, game number 2. Maybe wishful thinking there. We might get to an ace match. We'll see. But game number 2 is ready, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for being here today. And if you did miss any of the matches, be sure to go watch them after we finish up here. And also join us for PostBots tomorrow. But let's go ahead and hop into game number 2 right now.
Glaciers. BenBotBC. Fridolina's DominionDog.
All right, game number 2 will be on Death Aura. Ketroc counting on BenBot. This is how he came back versus DominionDog last season. I'm assuming he means in the AI Arena season.
That sounds right. Sounds right, since we didn't have DominionDog.
Yeah, we'll see here. I believe in BenBot. We have definitely seen some amazing comebacks, just some solid gameplay. Like you've always said, it looks like he's losing, but then he just somehow wins.
Yeah.
And we'll see here. It might be another Cinderella story.
Might be.
See. But again, this is upper bracket, so whoever loses here will have another chance. They will just get knocked down into that lower bracket to face Spud. So,
yes. Yeah, we could get, obviously we already have a different approach, different game here.
No proxy.
And that's definitely one of the things, obviously, that's evolved over the past several seasons is just because we're getting so much more of this, just because a bot wins one game doesn't mean they'll win the next one. Because strategies change. Every bot has multiple responses, whereas you go back a year or two and you had a lot of single build bots. Even now, the bot that does nothing but build VCs and teleport them into your main still has multiple builds, multiple ways to get there, basically.
Oh yeah, we've seen this map with BenBot. There's your little magnet right there that you were talking about. He builds that bunker a little bit further out here, but it is a nice defensive position. Sometimes draws in army units, and it's just kind of a nice little trap there. It's actually not as far out as before.
Yeah, it usually is. It's usually more central, and we've actually commented on this for BenBot before, that it tries to put it in between the natural and the third, and that's kind of where it is. But on many maps, the in-between spot is a place that would kind of draw attention from no matter where you attacked. On this map, that's not true. You've got a clear path to the third from the lower side in a way that doesn't care that bunker's there.
Yeah.
And that makes it more vulnerable. And we've actually seen in some series that were split, was it BenBot versus Sprouch that was split? The map that BenBot lost was one where the third base was too far away from the natural to be covered by the central location.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I remember now. Well, there's another second base out of BenBot. This time not doing the proxy bunker. Has that bunker at home, which will help in the defense here of that second base. So we'll see. And here comes DominionDog. That tank is out, so we should start seeing the push across maybe. Or is he just going to secure his own second first? No, he's just going to go.
Yeah, going to keep going. This will be followed up by the Liberator and a second tank.
Oh, yeah, it got slowed down last time because he had to kill that bunker.
Exactly. Yeah. I think in a lot of ways, what DominionDog is doing is actually almost identical to what Tyr did, it just from a Terran point of view, that he's making tank marine, and he's now relying on the long-distance reinforcements to come in while the army's already en route. I don't think he's necessarily wrong. The bunker up front certainly is the thing to deal with, but as long as he can get up there, and he's got a lot of room on the high ground to get up and then be on the same level as that bunker, and I think he's going to get some work done.
Marines are buying a little time. Oh, they need to go home, though. Don't stand in the tank fire here. But yeah, he is forcing siege ups and just generally slowing this down just a little bit, which might buy him enough time to get a few units, but he's building things like Hellions and I guess the Viking is going to be essential to help deal with the Liberator.
Yeah, the Viking is key to this.
I think Cyclones would be much more helpful in this scenario, though. I don't know. It's hard to say. We'll see if BenBot can hold it off. Again, he's got that second base up, so if he can hold this push, he will be in a beautiful spot against DominionDog, as DominionDog hasn't yet even started that second command center. Should be soon, though. I would imagine a second base should be coming up.
Delay is helping here. BenBot does position its tank well. So when he gets the first tank out, it will take a good position on the high ground. If it stays there and he gets reasonable control, clearly the Liberator here on DominionDog's side is having I don't know, some form of performance anxiety. He doesn't want to go far ahead.
Well, it's the Marines are tricking the tanks. They are playing with fire. Though just a few Marines keep forcing siege ups. Oh, finally they take a shot. But they've done a great job at just staying outside of the range, and it keeps forcing siege up after siege up. But finally, DominionDog is up the ramp and is in range of the bunker, and Widow Mines aren't going to do a whole lot to help here once again.
Yeah, it's the tank on the high ground. You can already see shelling down the moment they get close here on the lower end of the screen. That is really evening supply. He had a 30 supply advantage going into that, and now the bunker's dead. Got some of that back, but he's now wandered into tank fire.
Yeah, just not enough here. A great spot for that tank up on the high ground, but the Viking count in DominionDog's fit. Well, it was
Until the two Widow Mines.
Finally, the Widow Mines did something good, though. That's good.
Yeah, I think he has the second wave here. Okay, here the Liberator is now in the fight against the Vikings. He's got to get another tank in that position, but screw the tanks. There's a BC almost out.
He's not BenBot tank. He's BenBotBC.
Yeah.
And another decent Widow Mine shot. Actually does soften this up, and with only tanks remaining, DominionDog might get pushed back. No way.
However, is this BC going to defend him, or is it going to warp to the other side?
Oh, yeah.
I'm an idiot.
Okay, no, he is going to defend.
Right. That's excellent. Okay, so he's going to hold here. He lost a lot of workers, though. So many tried to repair this low ground CC, and he lost them in huge chunks to the tanks. He will clean this up, but it's not like DominionDog, and you mentioned this in the first game, stayed on one base or anything. It has, in fact, that was weird.
I thought he jumped to the other side, but he just jumped into his own main.
It's fine now.
I got to get my paint job fixed up. I took a scratch.
I don't know why he did. Okay, so it's the pain's going to continue a little longer than it has to. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the economy to. Yeah, he needed this to be like a full wipe and an instant recovery of the economy, and he lost a few extra here.
I'm surprised DominionDog's not making more Vikings.
Yeah. Let's see. I guess he's trying to recover the Marine count and then get turrets up. I'm sure that it must have backup planning to be like, okay, I didn't win, and now there's BCs out. It does have. It doesn't know that there's only one BC, and we're a long way from getting a second one. Yeah. But
long way. But yeah, he does have that reactor coming down on the starport. So yeah, maybe now he'll be able to start double cranking Vikings. As it is, DominionDog is in a huge lead right now, up 20 workers, big army supply advantage. No upgrades to speak of just yet, but you get out a few more Vikings. Yeah, we got 2 in production at a time, and they're going to make quick work out of 1 battlecruiser. BenBot, I don't think BenBot has enough time. It was a good attempt at a hold, and much better than last game. I'm very impressed he was able to get those BCs out, or the BC out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do believe DominionDog should be able to mass up just an insurmountable force here. Even a couple Vikings to help the battlecruiser, but yeah, I don't think it's going to be enough.
Yeah, that's certainly my thinking on it. Let's see how it does develop. Let's see what the backup plan is. Does DominionDog get aggressive again? Is it going to be too defensive for too long? In which case, we've seen what would happen if you're like that with BenBot, that it will be defensive as long as it takes. In order to just win by attrition. Mm-hmm. All this time, it's obviously going to struggle with minerals now. Once it does get its mineral economy back and going, it's got 1,000 bank gas. And it may, if it just starts spitting out 2 BCs at a time and you don't really have a response for it, then that can be tough. It's, he's already getting his economy, like the foot was on his throat and it got lifted, but here comes the knife, I guess.
That's only because he was about to drop a cinder block on his head.
Yeah.
And here it comes, DominionDog with huge, more than double the army supply advantage. A lot of Vikings in the sky. We have not even seen another battlecruiser in the production tab. Just another Viking small, paltry force of Marines. It just isn't enough. The numbers aren't there. DominionDog is going to be able to cinch the win here and will remain alive in the upper bracket. Forces the jump out of the battlecruiser, but now he's just going to be able to push up, and we'll be able to finish that off, I imagine, here.
Yeah,
save some miracle. I don't think BenBot is going to save this one, Endersword.
Yeah, it's too many Vikings, and I don't think they're going to be tentative enough in order to allow this to live. And he just never had the economy to continue to make BCs or anything.
Yeah,
and
he just lost too many workers.
So many Marines and stuff as well. Had that first BC not been as cowardly, then he'd be ahead in work. But it was, and it does go down once the teleport was gone, and that was his only hope.
Well, GG, and it will be DominionDog taking the win. BenBot is going to go and face Spud in the lower bracket, and we'll take a look at all that. Next week, we'll be diving back into that lower bracket, and we'll have 4 more eliminations. So definitely come check that out. But nicely done, DominionDog. So we've got, who do we have in the upper bracket here?
That's Hank for the high ground again.
Yeah, it's a good spot.
It is. That was a saving grace. It almost, I almost say it could have won this game by 1 Viking volley. He died 1 Viking volley before the Liberator got taken out. Look, it's still gonna. It doesn't know what to do. This it's over, but this is bizarre.
Yeah, well, BenBot's just at a complete standstill right here.
Yeah.
And just will not be able to progress. He's stuck at 5 army supply pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh, good stuff. So yeah, we've got in our upper bracket, we've got now DominionDog. We'll be seeing Tier. We'll be
Why
seeing.
do the Vikings keep landing?
Because I think they're trying to take the tank out or something. Because there's nothing in the sky to kill, and the turret. I don't know.
I guess it is, but do they not realize when they land they lose high ground vision and they can't kill the tank?
Maybe that's what causes it. And they're like, oh crap, we got to lift. We can't see up there anymore.
They finally get it, but yeah.
And then Jensiiibot and Ketroc we'll be seeing in a couple more weeks' time. Now there is going to be one more round of updates as well. Will not be for next week. So next week we're going to see all the bots as they were, except for the 4 that are already in the lower bracket did get some updates. And then we'll have our upper bracket in 2 weeks' time, and that will be our last submission of updates for these bots. So basically every other round they get an update, and there's 7 weeks, so 3 updates in total. But good game, well done, great series tonight. A lot of really fun matches, some great TVTs. Yeah, that MicroMachine Jensi match is gonna resonate for a while. I can't wait to talk about that in post-bots tomorrow. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
It'll be a good one. Yeah, I don't know what the kill count. It wrecked a lot of value. Probably didn't kill that many units at the end because there weren't really many Marines there, but it definitely killed a lot. But that. If you've joined late, if you've whatever, even if you saw it, go watch the Jensi and MicroMachine one again. Just rewind the tape, and that's by far the best thing that we've had in terms of just pure display of skill on both sides.
Yeah. I'm super excited to talk about that tomorrow. Again, check out our Crown Club membership if you like post bots and extra content. We'll be going more in depth into all these games with some bot authors. I believe Ketroc will be joining us tomorrow. Again, $5 a month goes a long way to support future seasons of ProBots, and you get some cool behind the scenes content. You get free artwork, ad-free viewing if you watch the VOD, that kind of thing. So go check it out. Still pushing for number 25, our 25th member, I think. So if it's your kind of thing, highly recommend.
Yep.
All right, Endersword, good stuff today. Are you excited for next week?
I am indeed. It's just it's getting up there. We're gonna have other good matches going through the losers bracket. We'll see. Yeah, we're gonna take a look at what that bracket looks like. That's where I heard.
Yeah, I think so. We're gonna toss. Yeah, four of these bots next week are going into the scrap pile. So here's our lower bracket: MicroMachine versus BlinkerBot. So TVP, Strelok versus the Harvester, BenBot versus Spud, and Spiny versus 4GateBot. Spiny our only Zerg remaining in the tournament here, right?
And one weird spot of the bracket doesn't exist. I don't know why.
What?
This the middle. Do you see that?
Oh yeah, we're missing one. So I guess both MicroMachine and BlinkerBot, doesn't matter who wins, they're both eliminated. So
yeah.
We'll get that fixed up.
That'll be pretty good. Yeah.
And yeah, we'll do predictions and stuff in our show tomorrow as well. Again, if you're part of the Crown Club, come hang out in the Discord, ask questions, make predictions with us. It's a lot of fun. We'll be doing that same time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. It's a behind-the-scenes thing, so you'll have to watch the video of it afterwards if you don't catch it live.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you all for being here. We're going to leave things at that. Make sure, again, you check out everything below. We've got a forum that you can stay up to date with what's going on here on ESChamp. Check out our Crown Club membership. Check out AIarena.net. That is where all these bots have qualified from. They'll be doing more seasons there. You can watch their 24-hour stream as well and see a lot of these bots as well as many others duking it out for your entertainment. It's fun to kind of just put that on and watch it in the back. I like to put it on while I'm working during the day and just kind of constantly have some nice fun StarCraft playing. So yeah, anything you'd like to say before we wrap up?
No, thanks for joining us. Definitely tune in next week, get the continuation, see who does end up making it to the finals. I think we're progressing very well.
Oh yeah.
And Terrans are taking over and must be stopped.
Yes. A lot of Terrans in this tournament. So yes, join us next week, 7:30 p.m. Eastern here on ESChamp for week 5. We're going back into going back into the lower bracket, where again we'll have 4 more eliminations. Hopefully we'll see you all there. And as with that, we're going to say have a good night, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks for tuning in.